314-500-5000.
That's 314-500-5000.
All on the free Odyssey app.
A message from the White House to Ukraine's leader, Lisa Brady, Fox News. President Trump accusing President Zelensky of prolonging the war in his country.
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky's rejection of recognizing Crimea as Russian territory is harming peace negotiations, President Trump says. In a social media post, President Trump says Zelensky's statement will do nothing but prolong the killing field, and the man with no cards to play should finally get it done. President Trump calls the situation for Ukraine dire.
Fox's Jared Halpern at the White House. Vice President Vance and Secretary of State Rubio have both warned the U.S. could walk away from the peace process if both sides don't agree to a plan soon. President Trump predicts a fair deal with China, though he won't say whether he's considering lower tariffs on China in the meantime, as multiple countries seek new trade deals with the U.S.
We're losing $1 trillion a year. Trillion, not a billion, not a million, a trillion. And now we're going to be making money with everyone, and everyone's going to be happy. But we're no longer going to be the country that's ripped off by every country in the world.
The U.S. Treasury chief telling an investors conference current tariff rates between the U.S. and China are not sustainable, and that America first does not mean America alone. A top Senate Democrat decides not to run again.
Senate Minority Whip Dick Durbin says he will not be seeking a sixth term in the Senate.
I truly love the job of being United States Senator. But in my heart, I know it's time to pass the torch.
The number 2 Senate Democrat was first elected to represent Illinois in 1997 and has served as chair of the Senate Judiciary Committee. Durbin is now the 4th Democrat to announce plans to retire after the 2026 midterms. And while a blue state, Republicans could eye Illinois as an opportunity to flip the state and expand their Senate majority.
Fox's Ryan Schmelz in Washington. America is listening to Fox News.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
They told us nothing but lies.
These timeshare thieves out there are terrible.
They bullied us.
Our timeshare is all a scam.
They stole from us. They were thieves.
I was completely taken advantage of.
Hello, I'm Chuck McDowell, founder and CEO of Wesley Financial Group, and I know the tough spot you're in. Are you asking yourself, why did I buy that timeshare? I'll tell you why, because that presentation wasn't a normal sales pitch. It was a show to convince you that timeshare is a great investment. They told you it was available today and today only. They said you're foolish if you don't buy, and unfortunately, you believed them. We get over 3,000 complaints a week from folks just like you that were misled into buying a timeshare. Give us a call. I guarantee you, if we take you as a client, we will cancel your timeshare or you'll pay nothing.
Call now for your free information kit. 800-881-4242. 800-881-4242. 800-881-4242.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
Partly sunny skies going through our Wednesday afternoon. Temperatures feeling a little more like late May. 80 for the high. Maybe a spot shower, but really tough to find. Some more clouds around, especially later on tonight. 59. Thursday, partly sunny. Couple of showers, maybe a rumble of thunder primarily late in the day on Thursday. 82. Best chance for rain is going to be during the day on Friday. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Experience the exhilarating atmosphere of a Cardinals game. Join the sea of red in the wave around the stadium. Feel the rush of excitement as a home run lights up the sky with fireworks, bringing the whole ballpark to their feet. Nothing beats the thrill of watching the Cards get the W with the final out at the plate. It's more than a game. It's an experience. Visit Cardinals.com for tickets and info. St. Louis Cardinals for the Lou.
Game tickets? Check.
A round of cold beers? Check.
Ballpark hot dogs? Check.
Baseball is back and nothing beats a night out with the guys.
Or ladies.
At a Cardinals game.
From thrilling games and mouthwatering eats to the iconic ballpark energy, Busch Stadium is the ultimate spot for you and your crew to dive into America's favorite pastime.
Make your next night out the best one yet. Join us at Busch Stadium, where every hour is happy.
For tickets, visit Cardinals.com.
St. Louis Cardinals for the Lou.
Hi, I'm Bob Kershaw with Retirement Advisory Group. Are you worried about market volatility? Are you concerned your money won't last you through retirement?
Hi, I'm Tammy Kershaw, and as a family-owned business, we are committed to protecting your retirement, whether you're nearing retirement or already retired. We have a lot of folks that aren't aware of all the new investment choices that are available, which give you growth and protection from losses at the same time. Are you aware of all the fees that you are currently paying? We can show you how to avoid those fees. So come in now for your free retirement review and get a second opinion on your retirement plan. And just for coming in, you'll get a copy of our latest edition book, Your Key to a Worry-Free Retirement. Let us show you how to retire with confidence.
We are proud to say we haven't lost a penny of our clients' money in 39 years, and we won't lose a penny of yours either. Let our family help your family. Call us now at 314-993-9494 or go online to retirementkey.com. That's retirementkey.com.
Hey guys, it's Mark Reardon. If you're struggling with low energy, performance issues, or weight gain, Game Day Men's Health has got you covered with testosterone therapy, ED treatments, and more in all of a relaxed man cave environment. At Game Day, you'll get a free testosterone test and consultation, all in just 1 hour. Game Day is the premier men's health clinic with locations in Chesterfield, O'Fallon, Missouri, and Glen Carbon, Illinois. Visit GameDayMen'sHealth.com. That's GameDayMen'sHealth.com. Get back in the game with Game Day Men's Health.
You ask a lot of your liver, so give it the support it needs with Active Liver. Go to NORDICUSA.com, Amazon, or ask for Active Liver at your local CVS. New you, new Nordic.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about. That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
Right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
In the town of Mascot,
our town is named after the Mascotan Indians.
Their pride in their Native American heritage is on full display at every sporting event.
The Indian mascot and the heritage that we have here in Mascot runs deep. It's a huge source of pride and love for our community.
However, legislation making its way through the Illinois General Assembly would block schools across the state from using Native names, logos, and mascots, which Representative Maurice West called offensive, discriminatory, and outdated.
I would challenge anybody to come into Mascot and say that we use our Native American imagery and mascot in a negative or derogatory way. It's done with nothing but respect.
Well, thank you to KSDK for that report on HB 1237, which the Illinois House has already passed. It's going to the Senate, likely get voted out of committee early next week. They could just squeak that thing by really quick, go to the governor's desk. And guess what, folks, in the state of Illinois, if you have a mascot that those assembled in Springfield, Illinois, determined to be inappropriate, you're going to need to spend millions of dollars to rectify that issue. Welcome into the Annie Fry Show at 12:25. We're going to have Derrick Keith Cox in. He's the Collinsville Township Supervisor. I have been working with Derrick to put together a pep rally Sunday at Collinsville Football Stadium. I think it's called Keokuk Stadium, the alma mater of one Ryan Wiggins. And we are going to show a completely nonpartisan, unified front saying, please respect local control on these issues. This isn't about, listen, in my lifetime, I've been an eagle, a tiger, a knight, and a cougar. I think that those are all still okay. Although I can think of some knights that probably did some terrible things.
Yeah, and some cougars.
To you.
No, I was in favor of that.
We should all be cougars. That's what it's just going to be, the everybody cougars. Every game's going to be the Cougars versus the Cougars. I thought it would be worth mentioning here. The name Illinois originates from the Ojibwe, I hope I'm saying that, word Alinawek. Can't say that anymore, meaning men or warriors. Isn't that ironic?
That's offensive, though.
Yeah. Which was used by the French to refer to the Alinawek Native American Confederation. How can we stand for this? This is my huge problem. I could see a scenario where the Freeburg Mighty Midgets, I could see a scenario where the town goes, you know what? Let's become the Cougars. We think it's time. And it'll be contentious, and there will be people who will cling to their midgets to the end.
It's like a Barack Obama quote.
With eloquence. And then there will be other people who say, no, it's time, whatever. You work it out amongst your community and you make a decision within the community. Why? Because it is going to cost multi-million dollars of your local taxpayer dollars to make these things happen. And it's all got to be completed by the end of the 2028 school year. So we're going to speak with Derrick Keith Cox, Collinsville Township Supervisor at 12:25 about the pep rally happening this Sunday. And it's happening at Collinsville Football Stadium because we had to find a place. And of course, Collinsville K-Hawks, if you're listening right now and you're a K-Hawk, I've seen a lot of fervor about this from the folks in the Collinsville area. Mascot, Freeburg, Granite City, I think Carlisle, Westland. There are a lot of, I think Calhoun might be included as well. If you're affected by this, or if you love somebody who's affected by this, you need to be there. And I am, as the person who's helping at the top organize this rally with Derrick, I am saying it needs to be 60 minutes and no longer. We are coming together, wear your school colors, take pictures, post pictures. We're going to have music. It's going to be a fun time. And we're going to say to the Senate, don't pass this. Don't do this. If you want to pressure these communities to take up this issue, and the communities want to take it up and see the value in that and change it, that's fine. I am not here to defend the value of the K-Hawk. I am not a K-Hawk. But I know a lot of people who are. I know a lot of people who this means a lot to. And if Collinsville decided to make that change, they should be permitted to make that change. But it should be made where it affects the people and their pocketbooks, not some upstate, holier-than-thou legislator who's solving the world's problems by making the Collinsville school district spend, $3 million to change everything. You're a Collinsville taxpayer. You looking forward to that bill?
As much as I love taxes, that's one that I'm like, no, I don't think we want to do that. That was sarcasm.
Cahokia School, another one that is included. Senator Belt is a Democrat. He's got a lot of schools that are a part of this. He might be a no on it. They're welcome. Katie Stewart voted against this bill. She's been invited to come to the pep rally, and my understanding is she is not able to attend and speak. She has another commitment. But Katie Stewart voted against it. I would like to, especially to hear these folks on the left who have voted against it, to say why they voted against it. I think Jay Hoffman voted against it as well. Certainly the Republicans did, which is why I say this is not partisan. I am not out here advocating for people to vote Republican in this particular issue, because this is not a political concern. It's a local control concern, and Republicans and Democrats are going to be affected alike.
I have lived in Collinsville my entire life. Actually, I moved there when I was 2, and I moved from Granite City. So both schools. I have never and I still live in Collinsville, in my entire life, heard anybody from our area, especially, complain about the mascot. Nobody's offended. Nobody has any problems. This is not an issue that affects our communities at all. In fact, there's a lot of local pride in these things because we know, we have the Cahokia Mountains. We know that there's a history before we had a high school. Like these things, that's why you honor these things. And yet you have people from outside the community coming in and saying, we know better than you. We want to show you how offensive you are to, I don't know who.
Since you can't handle this yourself, we'll take care of it for you. Big government.
Yep.
And I have to think that the price tag that is going to come along with this, Illinois doesn't have any money. These local districts, that's the closest government to you, your school district, your local districts. The amount of money that it's going to cost you is going to have to come from you. And if folks in the state legislature really want to see this happen, they should work to encourage the communities to make the change. We do not need the state legislature coming and telling us how to handle our business. There are people who are going to defend greatly the value and the necessity to keep the K-Hawk. And I'm here to stand next to those people and support their right to do that. My fight in this issue, which has already passed the House of the Illinois State House, and it's going to the Senate. It's going to be called into committee and probably voted out of committee. I expect this, regardless if we have thousands of people show up on Sunday, I expect the state legislature to completely ignore the outcry. But they should still see the outcry. We cannot be complacent in our state when our voice needs to be heard. It makes it too easy on super majorities to be able to do the things they want, pair off a few votes in the Democrat Party that are going to have the luxury of being able to vote against it, and it still passes. They should still be looking squarely into the face of Illinois voters, of people in K-Hawk Nation, in Warrior Nation, in Midget Nation, in Indian Nation. They should be looking square into their face and saying, no, you don't have the right or the strength to push back on this issue. We know better, and we're taking this over for you. In Illinois, if we had any sort of checks and balances in our statewide government, these types of issues wouldn't be bothered right now in the state legislature. There are so many things that need to be focused and addressed on in the state of Illinois, and they are spending their time worried about your mascot. It's outrageous. It's ridiculous. It's offensive.
It's why this is nonpartisan. It's why there are so many people who would never call themselves red or even blue, who are coming out and going, come on, please. This is so heavy-handed. This is part of my culture now. This is part of my community. Why are you coming in and ripping these things away from? And it's not just one school. It's like you mentioned, there's so many schools that are affected by this, and they have nothing to do. They're not even close to the legislators who are making these rules.
Again, it's not to me about defending any specific mascot whatsoever. This is a local control issue. And I hope that we can come together on Sunday at 2 p.m. at Collinsville High School Football Stadium. It's known as K-Hawk Stadium, but we are partnering with Granite City. We're partnering with Mascot. I've had conversations with folks from those districts that are in the school district, and that's what it's really about. Let us handle our business, not a red blue thing. Not, I guess in Granite City and Freeburg it is, but not a partisan thing. I bet you this will be one of the most bipartisan rallies that we've seen in the Illinois area in quite some time. And nobody will be asking you, who do you vote for? I hope. That's not my intention. 60 minutes, in, out, fun, positive showing of unity in support of local control.
The fact that you are inviting, everybody knows where we stand politically. Yeah. The fact that you're inviting Democrat legislators to come and be a part of this rally is a handout to say, here, come, let's get together on this. Whether they show up or not is up to them.
I hope they do.
But yeah, but we really do. We hope they show up, because this is where representatives can say, look, party aside, the people I represent don't want this to happen. Regardless of party, this is a local control issue.
And it's important to understand that the Democrats that are down south compared to the rest of the state, or at least how they think of it, they can vote against it and they can stand with you, and it could still easily pass.
Yeah, they get a.
But we should be
there.
Making sure that our representatives are advocating what we want. And if that's a Republican representative, if that's a Democrat representative, doesn't matter. The vote's the vote. When all the votes go in the middle, vote's the vote. All right. I want to take a quick break because Derrick Keith Cox, who's the Collinsville Township Supervisor, is going to come in and talk to us about this rally. He's had a lot of conversations. He's been doing a lot of work to make sure that people have the opportunity to speak and be seen on this issue. Also, the YouTube live chat poll for today, and we're going to play a video. You might have seen it. Randy Weingarten and Martha McCallum had it was a long conversation, but a little little line crossing, depending on who you might ask. We'll get to that video a little bit later in the show, but the poll question for today, is it okay to call a non-family member sweetheart? Yes or no? Let us know what you think in the Annie Fry YouTube live chat poll. Would love to hear what you have to say. We'll be right back.
You're listening to the Annie Fry Show. Follow Annie on X at Annie Fry Show.
She almost drive me crazy. She knows how to love me, yes indeed. But you don't know what she do to me. To the booty, oh Rudy. To the booty, oh Rudy. To the booty, oh Rudy. To the booty, oh Rudy.
Michael's Flooring Outlet. You find them online. Their website is igotfloor.com. Reach out to Michael's for your next flooring purchase. If you are looking residential or commercial, if you're looking in your business, if you want to finally get rid of the old carpet that's been in your house, maybe lay down new carpet, but go with the carpet squares. It's a little easier to maintain. They do commercial business flooring for sure. If you're looking residentially, if you're looking for a new, wonderful, but easy to maintain hardwood look in your floor, check out the Techwood Plus line of flooring that Michael's is very proud to champion. They have 3 locations on either in different places throughout the course of the St. Louis area, St. Charles County, West County, and Darien Prairie, but they do serve both sides of the river, Missouri and Illinois alike. You can reach out to Michael's Flooring Outlet and get them in your home for a free estimate, a consultation, the whole thing. All of that info is online. You can read reviews from customers who have used them and written their honest reviews, and they're proud to put them right there on their website. Just visit igotfloor.com.
If you're a supporter of the Second Amendment, you need to be a member of the Range St. Louis West. Mark Cox here. You know, they get free lanes and free firearm rentals, 5% off firearms and suppressors, 10% off accessories, and 15% off classes. The new benefit on Sundays from 10 to noon, the lanes are for members only. And in April, you get 2 free basic cleanings of a modern firearm. Check them out at 14803 Manchester Road in Baldwin. TheRangeSTL.com. If you're a homeowner, it's time to upgrade your windows with Window World. Mark Cox here. I am a satisfied customer. I love the windows they put in my house, and there's a reason they're ranked number 1 in the number of windows sold in this country by Qualified Remodeler magazine. They have that lifetime warranty. It covers all the parts, the glass breakage, the labor. You don't have to worry about it anymore. And in over 20 years in business, they have improved the look and the thermal efficiency of over 76,000 customers in the greater St. Louis area. Window World is now offering 36 months, same as cash financing with approved credit. And I think the customer service sets them apart from the rest of their competition. And they have an excellent track record with the Better Business Bureau. They've also raised a lot of money, over $3 million for local and national charities. So be sure and check them out. Call them at 314-993-1800. Tell them Mark Cox sent you. You can also go to windowworld.com.
The International Institute of St. Louis invites you to try international cuisine, support local immigrant-owned businesses, and more at their community bazaars. The bazaars are free and open to the public at the International Institute of St. Louis, located at 3401 Arsenal Street, and take place every other Friday from noon to 2 p.m. Learn more about the International Institute of St. Louis Community Bazaars at iistl.org/bazaar. Message supported by Together Credit Union.
You're listening to the Annie Fry Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Air Comfort Service is hiring licensed journeymen. Don't have a journeyman license? Air Comfort Service will help you get it. Get guaranteed hours year-round and more. Apply online at aircomfortservice.com.
To be young and in love in New York City. Do not know who I am, but still know that I'm good long as you're here with me. To be drunk and in love in New York City. And not into morning coffee.
This is the Annie Fry Show. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
I like me better when I'm with you. I knew from the first time I stayed for a long time, 'cause I like me better when I'm with you.
All right, welcome back. Good to have you with us here on the Annie Fry Show. In a non-related to this conversation note, the YouTube live chat poll, is it okay to call a non-family member sweetheart? What do you think, Ryan?
Since it's not related to this conversation we're about to have, I'm going to say yes.
Okay, we'll dig into that here in a little bit because I might disagree with you. Derrick Keith Cox, Collinsville Township Supervisor in studio here. It's good to have you here, Derrick, because you and I have been talking over text for a week or so, feverishly trying to get something together to put all of the people that you're hearing from, Derrick, the people I'm hearing from. Ryan is a Collinsville K-Hawk. Brad is a Freeburg midget.
Okay.
So we had got some people in the studio who are very interested in this issue. HB 1237, that the House Democrats have already passed this in the state legislature. The Senate is going to take it up next week. You and I have come together to put together a rally taking place this Sunday at 2 p.m. at the Collinsville K-Hawk Stadium. That's their football stadium at the high school. Derrick, just talk to me a little bit about your side of who you've been talking to and what you've been hearing.
Well, here's the deal. It is a huge issue in Collinsville. This is our history, too. Ryan and I, we graduated together, if you didn't know that.
We did, class of 99.
Ryan's going to leave, and Derrick's going to do Wiggins America and just talk about you in high school.
That's fine.
Oh, there's some stories. But no, this is our history, too. You know, I was looking up, the K-Hawks have been 100 years. It'll be next year.
I didn't know that.
Yes. And
you don't know something?
I knew we were close. I didn't know exactly 100.
And if anybody doesn't know, Cahokia Mounds was an ancient Native American city, which was, really one of the biggest in the world. And that's where Collinsville is. And this is just a part of our heritage and our history as well. And think of the state championships that we've went through, and we are proud to be who we are as well. There is nothing at all disrespectful. I don't know where this is coming from. And everybody I talk to is like, what are they doing?
Mm-hmm.
And where did this even come from? It doesn't make any sense. Why now? And we even have, there's several endorsements that, I'm not speaking for all the other schools, but as far as the K-Hawks, we have several endorsements already. One is the Native American Guardian Association. That's a national network. They want to keep these names because it keeps their heritage alive. Right. And so we also have an endorsement from the Western Cherokee Nation that in 2020, they agreed with the K-Hawk mascot. Me as a taxpayer in Illinois, one of the biggest things is our high property taxes and where our money's going. This is going to cost. We just got a beautiful new gym floor. And the logo is just massive on it. We're going to have to sand and strip all that off.
Gosh, I didn't even think about that.
It's everywhere, Ryan.
That's
it's
terrible.
What's the cost to the Collinsville taxpayer? If the Senate goes through and passes this, the governor signs it, the Collinsville taxpayer, I'd assume this would come out of the local school board budget, come out of when they don't have this budgeted in right now. When does it have to be completed by, and what's it going to cost?
Well, and then that's the thing that I've been hearing. Well, you got 5 years to do it. I don't care. It's at least $2 million, and they're thinking it could be even higher than that if this goes through, because it's not just at Collinsville High School. We're talking about the middle school. We're incorporating the mascot and the colors in our whole community. It is a part of Collinsville.
Purple pride.
Right. It is a part
everywhere.
of us. And so I always ask too, I don't know if it's appropriate or what, but what about our feelings?
Yeah.
What about our history?
Yeah.
And so my thing is that this is the time. It's real. It could move very, very fast. When I talked to our superintendent, Dr. Brad Skirtish, who's really behind this, he's all wanting to get people at this rally on Sunday, and he's very appreciative that you're putting this together. And so we need people to show up because let's just say, our type of people, this isn't normal for us to go out and hit the streets and be real loud. And we're not trying to be mean or anything like that. I almost want it to be like a big homecoming that we are proud to be Collinsville K-Hawks.
It's going to be a positive event. It's going to be at the Collinsville football stadium, but we are working with Mascot and with Granite City. And I've reached out to Freeburg and waiting to hear back from them as well. But the more the merrier. If you're not, like I said, I've never gone to any of these schools before, but I'm going to be there in support of local control over these issues. The Madison County Democrats, I have seen, a lot of people sending me screenshots of what the Madison County Democrats are saying about these issues. And the Madison County Democrats as a political party believe that the people who could make these decisions on behalf of the districts aren't going to do it the right way. So they're eager to send their supermajority of Democrats to the legislature to make these decisions for you because they don't trust the local communities to handle these issues. So as somebody who's not an alum of these different schools, I still want local communities to be able to make these decisions for themselves. Maybe Collinsville one day comes together and says, let's put this in the history of the school and become something else. But why? I don't understand why we need state legislatures to come
to get involved with our community
and tax dollars,
right?
And spend and allocate. All of that money. It's kind of funny to me to think about a lot of the advocates who were going to essentially take $2 to $3 million out of where it would be going to benefit classrooms, education. Provisions for students who might need a little extra compared to other in the Collinsville School District, in the Mascot School District, in the Freeburg, in the Granite City, in Cahokia, Calhoun, Carlisle, I think, Westland. I'm trying to remember everybody who's reached out to me. You're going to take that money out of the classrooms, out of the textbooks, out of the technology, out of paying teachers, Edwardsville. These are the type of places that need to be investing in their classrooms and providing education. No. They don't know what's good for themselves. Let's put that $3 million towards redoing the beautiful basketball court that we just did.
Right. That's not offending.
Make it make sense.
That is not offending anyone. I mean, have you ever heard of anybody come up and say, I'm offended at that mascot? All right.
Derrick, I've lived in Collinsville my entire life. I just said this in the last segment that I've never, ever heard anybody say that they were bothered by it. And to hear that you even have the endorsement, we have the endorsement of these tribes. The only people I can find that are offended are in Northern Illinois who have never been to Collinsville.
They live in Illinois.
Yes.
It's a native word. It's Illinois. It never ends. That's the problem.
Right.
What they're trying to do at a statewide level never ends. The virtue signaling never ends. It's ironic to me that the people who should be advocating for our Native American history, which is being honored in the Collinsville K-Hawk, in other places like this, the people who you would think would be the most likely to advocate for magnifying the Native American history in this country are like the Cowboys coming in and just taking it away.
Erase it.
And the thing that is really bothers me too is there is hundreds of issues that could actually help people in Illinois that you could take on tomorrow that would actually help. And everybody knows it. This is common sense solutions. And yet we can't do that. We have to go after this that only hurts. There's 100%. It hurts every taxpayer in our community that we're going to have to redo these things. For what? For nothing. We need people to show up, and this is the time because it's going to move fast. And we need people to show up, let their voices be heard. We got to get a good picture. We got to call the senator that's behind this, that's pushing this, and we've got to push. I should have it. We're going to get this up. I'll have this on.
Costa Howard is the one doing the Homeschool Act bill, I think. I can't remember who the one who started this one.
Well, and the other thing that we also have to push is we also have to push for if it happens to go through. Of course, I want it to die. And let's move on to real things. If it happens to push through, we need an amendment that will allow us to use the endorsement of the Western Cherokee Nation, which we already have, to keep our name. All right. And it will save millions of dollars and to keep our history alive. And that's not a big ask.
Derrick, you're involved with the community. I mean, every event I go to in Collinsville, I'm like, hey, there's Derrick. But you're involved with the politics of the community and stuff just as much as being involved with the community events and things. There's lots of political things that come down the line, whether they be from top down or bottom up. You're involved in all of it. And a lot of it goes kind of in one ear and out the other for the average citizen. Mm-hmm. Is this one grabbing the attention of the average person in a way that other issues aren't?
I think it is a bipartisan issue for one. All right. Because again, it doesn't make any sense.
of course, when you get to, if it's a funding issue, well, we need more money for this department or that department, and so the family members or whatever, they'll be for it. And then, but this is this doesn't make any sense whatsoever. And like Annie said, why is it that somebody up in Northern Illinois wants to get involved with what we got going on here? When nobody's offended, it's going to cost us tons and tons of money. But I do believe that this is an issue that transcends, let's just call it, politics. It should be a bipartisan issue. This doesn't make sense. Let's kill it and let's move on to something that can actually help people.
Illinois State Representative Maurice West, Rockford.
Rockford.
Peaches.
And I will say this as well. Okay. My representative, Katie Stewart, she voted no because they have such a huge majority. What I'm asking her to do is, if she believes that, if she stands by her vote, that she voted no, please, Katie, come out and speak and tell your colleagues and your fellow Democrats, listen, you might thought this was a good idea. This isn't a good idea. Let's do something different. I'm asking Katie Stewart to come out and publicly stand with her vote of no, that she is against this.
Senator Chris Belt, is it Chris?
Yes.
Right? Chris Belt has a lot of schools in his district, or definitely has schools in his district that would be affected by this. We want him to come out as well. We'll give him the microphone and let him speak, since he's going to have the opportunity to vote against this when it does hit the Senate. But I also want to make sure that people understand this isn't a political rally. Like you said, we want Democrats and Republicans alike. It's a nonpartisan issue. We're going to make it fun. You're going to DJ the thing.
Sure, I'm ready.
He's ready to go.
I do the Friday night football games.
Yes.
And so we have some fun there. But school spirit, we are proud of our mascot. It's just pride. I mean, this is my history. It's Ryan's history. And anybody that's from these other districts as well, they know what I'm talking about. They take pride in that. And we're not offending or trying to hurt anybody.
Yes, please support the idea of local control. This is not a sum total game situation that the Illinois State Legislature is trying to push through here, because it doesn't stop here. You're not going to solve the problem by making all of the mascots become eagles or whatever it is. They're the entire state. What is Mascot going to do with their town name? Mascot is connected to Native American history. Do they have to change that too? Right. And if not, why? And if you can answer the question why, who gets to determine the why? It should only be up to the people locally in these districts to say it's time to move on, or absolutely not. We respect our history. We respect the history of what was here, and we want to preserve it and we want to protect it. Or it's time to move on. That's your choice locally.
Don't we believe in democracy? I'm always told that.
When convenient, yes, Derrick.
If the people, in these communities, maybe it's a 95-5 issue or something. If they're saying, one thing, why are we ignoring them?
Well, the event is going to be Sunday at 2 p.m. Derrick, I'm promising people we're going to keep it at an hour. If people linger after that, that's fine. But we're not eating up your whole afternoon. This is an opportunity to come together in a nonpartisan. It's not bipartisan. It's nonpartisan. It's not politics. It's just we want to support and show school spirit for the people, for the communities that we've been a part of, the communities that we care about. We know that there are a lot of you folks listening right now that do deeply care about this issue. So Sunday at 2 p.m. from 2 to 3, we're going to basically have a pep rally party for anybody who is affected by this or wants to say we need to stand with local control at the football stadium at Collinsville High School.
And if anybody's wondering, it does matter. It matters that you show up for that hour. We're going to get pictures. We're going to send up. We have to send a message. All right. Nobody shows up. It's kind of hard to send that message.
Yeah.
So we need folks to show up for that on Sunday. And I really appreciate you getting behind this, Andy, and getting the word out.
We'll do what we can. And all we can do is provide the opportunity. Hope you show up and support it Sunday at 2 p.m. Thanks, Derrick, for being here. Appreciate it. All
absolutely.
Right. Derrick Keith Cox, Collinsville Township Supervisor, here in studio with us about our Save the Mascot Local Control Please pep rally Sunday, 2 p.m. Collinsville Football Stadium. Let's take a quick break. Wiggins America next on the Andy Fry Show. I have no idea what you're talking about. What are you talking about?
Oh, good. You'll just find out on the other side of the break, I think.
Can we tease the? I'll cover my ears, but
Okay,
I
yeah,
would like the
cover-
listener to know why they should
If
keep listening.
you could, take your headphones off for a second. Remember how yesterday RFK banned dyes? We're going to talk about foods that are banned in other countries. We did this once before, but there's even more of them. So stick around. Annie's going to find out in a second.
This is the Annie Fry Show. The Annie Fry Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
Stay with me. Stay here with me. I like me better when I'm with you. I like me better.
Step outside and fall in love with your backyard again. From inviting porch overhangs to durable composite decks and cozy screen rooms, Lakeside Renovation and Design creates stunning outdoor living spaces designed for relaxation, entertaining, and making memories. With expert craftsmanship and top-quality materials, your new outdoor oasis will be perfect for every season. Call Lakeside Renovation and Design today or visit lakesiderd.com to get started. Let's turn your backyard into the retreat you've always dreamed of.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-700-6898. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-700-6898. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-700-6898. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-700-6898, 800-700-6898, or biglou.com.
Tammy Dittamore and the Dittamore Group, folks, these are the people for you looking to buy or sell. I know a lot of people are looking at their homes right now. You're seeing what home prices are going and you're thinking to yourself, good grief, should we sell our home? Is now the time to downsize? The kids are out of the house. We don't need all this space. What if we got a place on the lake? What if we got a smaller house that's got the upgrades that we've always dreamt of instead of renovating the kitchen and finishing the basement or whatever it might be? You're thinking about it. That's where the part starts, where you call the Dittamore Group at 618-531-4652. 618-531-4652. Start the conversation with them. You're not obligated to anything. But if you reach out to the Dittamore Group and you say, we're kind of tempted right now, we're seeing how houses are going, maybe you want to travel a little bit or something. When you reach out to the Dittamore Group, folks, you're going to get information that's going to be helpful to make you make the right decision. And then if you choose to list with the Dittamore Group, they are going to make sure that they deliver the best results. 618-531-4652 in Illinois and in Missouri, the #1 team and the #1 office in the Metro East. You've got them at the Dittamore Group. Online at thedittamoregroup.com.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. If you've been injured in a car accident, call America's largest injury law firm. For over 35 years, my mission has been to deliver more for our clients, to deliver more for you. Injured? Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Summer is on the way, or should I say the heat in St. Louis, it's on its way. Be here before we even know it. If you haven't had your air conditioners checked and set up and ready to go for this cooling season, or if you were told you might need a new one, or you just think this is the time of the year, this year is the time to just go ahead and replace it. Prices are down, 0% financing is available. It's still the best time to call me. Don't put it off. One easy number in Missouri and Illinois. It is 314-293-2600. Again, that's 314-293-2600 in Missouri and Illinois, or on the internet, bartinman.com. That is Bart with a B, Inman with an I.com.
You're going to hear our YouTube live chat poll today and wonder, what is that all about? Well, I'm going to tell you right now, the question is it okay to call a non-family member sweetheart? Yes or no? It's the YouTube live chat poll. Is it okay to call a non-family member sweetheart? This is based on an interview that Randy Weingarten just did on Fox News yesterday with Martha McCallum. We'll play that clip at some point in the show so you can get a little context. But let us know what you think about this topic. It is 12:44. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
The Mark Reardon Show.
David's wife. Do you remember at the beginning of the pandemic, the flattened curve meme and all those graphs they would show us? Those models were based, at least in part, on completely made up information.
Weekdays from 3 to 6.
First things first, I'm the realest. Drop this and let the whole world feel it. Let them feel it.
This is the Annie Fry Show. The Annie Fry Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
Yeah, cup of Ace, cup of Goose, cup of Chris. I heal something worth a heavy ticket on my wrist. Taking all the liquor straight, never chase that. Never stop like we
Wiggins! Wiggins! I like that song. I am kind of ashamed that I like that song, but I like that song.
Not ashamed enough to say it on the air.
You know why I like it? The beat's really good, first of all. I don't know about the words. I don't know what she's talking about. But at one point, she spells her name, and when she does it, I always say W-I-G-G-Y.
Wiggity, wiggity, whack.
Wiggity, wiggity, whack. Gosh. And then I go, oh, so fancy.
So you like it because it's Wiggy, not Iggy.
No, I like the song, too, but it has a personal connection to my entire family.
How much do you identify with Iggy? Is that where the line?
Just there.
Okay, I didn't know. Could be other similarities.
That is the extent of what I know about Iggy Azalea.
Okay. You both flaunt your bodies a lot.
I'll give that. I give that.
Ethan.
I don't do it as much in the office as I do on the weekends, but man, I club hard.
Collinsville's known for that.
That's not true. Yeah. Everybody just changed their mind on the
ketchup
K-Hawk.
bottle club.
You don't have to stay in your hometown to club hard.
Meet me at the ketchup bottle at say
you do, because you have that luxury in
PM.
Collinsville.
Yeah, we go full on woods raves.
Those spotlights are motorized.
Yeah, there's a lot going on. DJ Derrick Cox is there.
Yeah, you're gonna get in trouble.
I'm not gonna drag him into that.
You just did.
The K-Hawk Club.
You keep doing the thing that you follow as saying, I'm not going to do that thing that I just did.
W-I-G-G-Y. All right, these are foods that are banned in other countries, but not America. Now, we've done a couple of these before, and I'll give you the list from when we did it last time. Fruit Loops, U.S. chicken is banned.
And again, it's important for people to understand that Fruit Loops, they actually currently manufacture two kinds of Fruit Loops.
Yes.
One for the people who are like, you can't put those things in our body, and one for America.
And one with something in it that is now being banned as of yesterday, because this is based on the news yesterday that certain dyes are now being banned by Health and Human Services.
Easy for you to say.
No. U.S. chicken. Mountain Dew is banned by the European Union and Japan. U.S. milk is banned in several countries, many countries, and farm salmon. That's the list from before. Now, these are the ones we didn't get to from before. Maraschino cherries. Maraschino cherries.
Like pistachio.
Maraschino. I guess I just have more class than you.
Yeah, it's obvious.
You said maraschino, and I'm like, oh.
Yeah,
oh,
you know
wow.
why? Because I'm from America.
It's maraschino. You're from America.
You sound like you need the nasal surgery when you say that.
I gotta get a rhinoplasty.
Get Dr. Hardiman in here and fix that. Maraschino. He gets done. He's like, maraschino.
Let me test if that worked. Maraschino.
You're good.
Man, my accent changing everything. Thank you, Dr. Hardiman. Maraschino cherries are banned in Norway, Finland, France, Austria, and the UK.
I wonder what parts they are, cherry and red dye number 5.
It's probably about 50, half and half. Yeah. So this is...
There's nothing more red than a jar of maraschino cherries.
And there's no health value to them at all, from what I've read on these things. The American version of the sweetened cherry, because there's other versions apparently that are okay in other countries.
Do you eat the maraschino cherry on a Sunday?
Heck yeah.
Ethan?
Nope.
Brad?
Yeah, I'll eat it.
Not
love
the
'em.
stem, but
It has extra.
Brad, nobody eats
artificial
food. What kind
why
of
is
food-
everybody-
Why did you feel
why-
it was necessary to say that?
Nobody. That's like, do you eat bananas? Well, not the peel.
I mean, I've seen.
What do you think I am?
Listen,
you've seen
my
what?
friends are weird. Okay, leave me alone.
What did they do? They ate the stem?
Just eat the
Yeah.
whole thing. Just jump.
Really?
Yeah, all gone.
Name them. Book them in the
I
2
don't
o'clock hour.
believe you.
We're gonna have snacks in the 2 o'clock hour, and I will leave the show to get a bottle of maraschino cherries and see if they eat the stems.
Do they also eat the banana peel?
I haven't seen
Fiber,
them.
man.
I haven't seen that. No, they eat bananas with a knife and fork.
Keeps you regular.
That checks out.
Yeah, there's so much red dye in these that they are banned
Who knew you could get so much traction out of maraschino
in most
cherries?
of Europe. How about U.S. apples banned in the European Union? American apples are treated with DPA, diphthylenamine.
Are you sure that's how it's pronounced?
Yeah, I am sure, clearly. A potentially carcinogenic compound. Carcinogenic, big word. Did a great job on that one. Compound used to keep the fruit from turning brown. So it's a anti-browning agent. I like my apples a deep brown, though.
You just have to eat. I mean, all of these products will either make them look better or make them last longer or look better for longer. And Americans are like, I won't eat that apple. There's a spot.
Mm-hmm.
We're like that because we've been trained to think that an apple looks perfect all the time. There are a lot of apples that don't make it to market that are perfectly fine to eat.
The apples in my backyard are disgusting. They're only used for pies.
Call these
And
bad
deer.
apples.
And deer. That's exactly right. I like to lure the deer in, but I haven't figured out how to kill the deer and eat the deer.
Your hands.
I was thinking about
You're
that,
just
but
supposed to
some of the
wrestle.
deer have horns.
Here,
Brad,
little Gussie.
Do you
Here,
eat the
little
apple
Gussie.
stem?
No.
I think we should clarify. Go on.
No, nor the
Okay.
core.
Do you eat the tree?
The core.
The tree.
Oh, Brad's here again.
The tree, on the other hand.
Chewing
Put
on
a
our
fork
tree.
and knife straight to it.
All the deer in the background are
Get a
just
big
looking
old
with
chunk
their
of
The
that
heads.
deer
bark.
just kind of looking at him.
Don't
Never
mess with
tried
that
that.
guy. He's
Weirdo.
crazy.
Seems weird even to the deer. All right, this one is sad. Little Debbie Swiss rolls.
Uh-oh.
That's one of my favorites.
Specifically Swiss rolls, like the other little Debbies, are fine.
Specifically, Swiss rolls
Why?
are banned in Norway and Austria.
It's probably because they have better desserts.
Because they don't like the Swiss.
They, yeah, they're like, this isn't Swiss.
called
Little
Norway
Debbie
rolls.
Swiss rolls contain artificial food color dyes, yellow 5 and red 40,
For what?
which are considered to be
Make
carcinogenic.
it brown.
Yep. Again, I like my food a hard brown.
In a log. Like a Swiss roll.
Like a Swiss roll.
Fork and knife.
Like, that's not even in log shape. But I will eat I was about to nail that one down, but Annie lost it. I'll eat certain cheeses, but I really like mozzarella cheese because it comes in a log. All right.
You get a lot out of this.
Yeah.
Fork and knife.
Fork and knife.
Sounds like you don't like the knife.
That fork and knife. Yeah. All right. U.S. Who knew? U.S. breakfast
Would
cereals.
you give me the fork and knife?
Will you give me the fork and knife,
Finally.
son? I love you. U.S. breakfast cereals like Rice Krispies, Honey Bunches of Oats, and Frosted Flakes are all banned in Japan and the European Union.
Rice Krispies.
Honey Bunches of Oats.
That's
What's wrong with those?
Honey Bunches of Oats was the only cereal that I ate pretty much all of Charlie's pregnancy.
They're delicious.
Really?
Yes. That's like all I could eat. Was
Did you have different cravings with different kids?
I kind of had the reverse of cravings. Instead of having one thing that I really wanted to have, there was only one thing that I really could eat because everything made me so sick.
I guess that's what I'm asking because my wife was the same way. She just had 90% of stuff. She's like, I can't eat that. I can't eat it. But
nothing with red
one
sauce,
thing,
no pasta, no Italian, nothing like that.
because of acid reflux.
I think so, but I don't think I realized that until like the fourth kid that it was the reason. I had, I guess, reflux, but I didn't have heartburn. It just made me feel nauseous, and I realized later on that was probably. But I just would eat cereal a lot.
It was just Honey Bunches of Oats.
That was all I would eat with Charlie.
Does Charlie like Honey Bunches of Oats? Is
Charlie
there a
likes-
correlation
Charlie
between
likes-
the foods that you ate and your kids liking that food?
The opposite of me pregnant of only wanting to eat one thing. There's probably only one thing he won't eat. So he's a happy 15-year-old.
But it's not
eater.
Honey Bunches of Oats.
He'll eat it.
Okay.
Man,
All
I
right.
wish my wife would have had a box of cereal that I could have gone. She wanted specific soup from a restaurant only in St. Louis and
Oh, no.
Brentwood.
My three were, this is awful, Honey Bunches of Oats, Lucky Charms, and Fruit Loops.
Those
That
are all
explains
banned.
my kids.
Good thing you weren't in Japan.
Yeah, no
'Cause
kidding.
those were banned.
Well, I would have eaten a healthier version of them, it sounds like.
These are banned because this version of these in the United States contains butylated hydroxytoluene.
Nailed that one.
Which is also referred to as BHT, a lab-made flavor enhancer that has carcinogenic properties. These things are going to get banned in the next 4 years.
I'm happy.
Instant mashed potatoes.
Ick, gross.
Banned in. I love instant mashed potatoes. They're
You
so
would.
easy. Europe.
Do you eat the peel?
I eat the package. Like, man, that package looks good.
That's why they got-
and dumps
Can't
hot water
wait.
on it.
You're the one who's responsible for all those warning labels that have to
Yeah,
get put
do
on
not
packages.
eat the cardboard.
When you
Like,
see that, you're like,
okay,
who does that?
Don't eat the cardboard.
What negative effects could that have?
Why'd you print
Mhm.
such a nice picture on it then? It's your fault. The European Union, Japan, Australia all have banned American instant mashed potatoes like Hungry Jack because they come with the same stuff. Well, actually, it's BHA, similar. This preservative is found in rubber and wax food packaging. See?
Super.
That's why I eat the package, because it's all the same.
That's like straight from the source. Don't need to eat my instant
I don't
potatoes.
eat the potatoes, just eat the plastic. Ritz crackers, surprisingly, are banned in Switzerland, Austria, Hungary, Iceland, Norway, and Denmark. They have high levels of sodium hydrogenated cottonseed oil, a trans fat associated with cardiovascular diseases.
Ritz crackers.
Ritz crackers, huh? Wow. All right,
Are you
U.S.
at the end of the list or something?
Well, no, there's a couple more. U.S. pork.
It's really funny to watch people. This is a sidebar.
Okay.
Because we have the soap opera on TV on Channel 4 all the time. It's really funny to watch people act in soap operas when you can't hear the story because it is extra bad. Anyway, go on.
The acting in soap operas is.
Look at this guy.
Let me see.
He's
Oh
sad.
yeah, he's ginning up tears.
He's sad, but he's got a beanie on. So.
I can make myself
It's like,
cry.
make yourself look 20.
He's thinking about hydrogenated oils.
Yeah, he is.
He's terrified.
He's mad that he can't eat his instant potato packaging.
They told me it was
Specifically
okay.
the
I grew up
packaging.
in the 80s and the 90s, and they said that was
You're
right.
making fun of me for eating the peel.
Last one. That's just you. That's a you thing.
No, you can eat.
Weirdo.
Well, you can eat the potato skin peel. That's okay.
U.S. pork is banned in the European Union, Russia, and China.
One of the things that I hear a lot of people advocating for that I super support as well is origin of beef or meat, like that you have to have printed on there where that beef came from. I would like to know that.
The problem is that I've seen recently that farmers are saying that even meats that are produced outside the U.S., if they're shipped to the U.S. and they do anything to it here,
That it
you can
gets the
say
US?
that it has U.S.
That's why I go to a local farm and buy a cow, half a cow, side a cow, or something.
I just go out in the backyard. and
No,
I
you
wait
don't.
for
You
the
already
deer to come to
don't
my
know
apple
how.
tree.
You don't just talk to them. You don't even know what to do with them.
Oh, that's true.
You feed them.
I try biting them, but they run.
They're faster than you. All right, wiggity. What? Deroy Murdock, Taylor Riggs from Fox Business next. Don't go on.
Man, are you just not feeling it? Could be your testosterone. U.S. Men's Medical Center in St. Peter's helps men experiencing loss of energy, focus, concentration, and low libido. Check out the testimonials at usmensmedicalcenter.com. Patients are excited about feeling great, having energy, improved libido. Plus, they love the staff and the fact that they accept all insurance, including Medicare. Spring's coming. Enjoy it. Call U.S. Men's Medical Center at 636-244-5333. usmensmedicalcenter.com.
Spring into a new home with amazing savings at TR Hughes. Hi, I'm Jason Hughes with TR Hughes Homes, and we are currently offering half off up to $40,000 in options and up to $5,000 in closing costs on brand new to-be-built homes at select TR Hughes communities. That's right, half up to $40,000 in options and up to $5,000 in closing costs. Visit trhughes.com for details.
The choice of a home builder is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertising.
However, you really should visit trhughes.com.
This could be the #1 tax saving strategy for your retirement savings, and it's hidden inside IRS tax code section 1.408A-4. Discover what it is and how you can make your money go further in retirement in a 3-hour adult education class called Retirement Planning 101. Hey, it's Sue Thomas, and this is a one-night class. It's taught by advisors from financial and tax architects. They have decades of financial planning experience, and they hold these at colleges and libraries throughout St. Louis, and you'll learn about reducing your taxes, maximizing Social Security, paying for health care, and more. And they do it for free, but bring 3 canned goods for a St. Louis Crisis Nursery. There are a few openings left for classes this month, so register now by calling 314-947-2012, 314-947-2012. That's 314-947-2012.
KFTK FM Florissant from the Kaufman Townsley St. Louis's Injury Lawyers Studio. Call 314-500-5000.
That's 314-500-5000.
All on the free Odyssey app.
Optimism from the president. Lisa Brady, Fox News.
We have a lot of action going on. We're making a lot of money, this country. This country is not going to be losing money on trade anymore.
President Trump telling reporters talks are going well as many countries seek trade deals, also predicting a fair deal with China. Though he would not confirm a Wall Street Journal report, the administration is considering cutting tariffs on Chinese imports by as much as half.
The White House officials seem to be throwing cold water on this reporting from the Journal, saying if the U.S. were to lower tariffs, it would have to come in concert with negotiations and discussions with China.
Fox Business's Grady Trimble at the White House. A New Jersey wildfire that began yesterday has now grown to 12,000 acres, though containment has also grown to 35%. That fire has been fueled by strong winds in dry conditions. State Commissioner of Environmental Protection, Sean LaTourette, called the drought conditions in the state serious.
Deeply serious, quite honestly, and particularly so in the southern half of the state. And that's only likely to, that is likely to persist for months ahead.
He says it could end up, quote, being the biggest wildfire in the state in 20 years. Fox's Tanya J. Powers. Thousands have been evacuated. The cause of that fire remains under investigation. The Vatican says it may keep St. Peter's Basilica open past midnight because of high turnout on the first day of public viewing as Pope Francis lies in state. His simple wood coffin transferred in a solemn procession of cardinals and bishops earlier today.
Santa Marta residence, the Pope entering the Basilica for the very last time. His coffin making its way to be placed in front of the altar of confession that rests over the bones of the first Pope, St. Peter. And the service included the chanting of the litany of the saints and martyrs for the repose of his soul.
Fox's Lauren Green in Rome. There are 3 days of public viewing ahead of the Pope's funeral on Saturday. America is listening to Fox News.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
They told us nothing but lies.
These timeshare thieves out there are terrible.
They bullied us.
Our timeshare is all a scam.
They stole from us. They were thieves.
I was completely taken advantage of.
Hello, I'm Chuck McDowell, founder and CEO of Wesley Financial Group, and I know the tough spot you're in. Are you asking yourself, why did I buy that timeshare? I'll tell you why, because that presentation wasn't a normal sales pitch. It was a show to convince you that timeshare is a great investment. They told you it was available today and today only. They said you're foolish if you don't buy, and unfortunately, you believed them. We get over 3,000 complaints a week from folks just like you that were misled into buying a timeshare. Give us a call. I guarantee you, if we take you as a client, we will cancel your timeshare or you'll pay nothing.
Call now for your free information kit. 800-881-4242. 800-881-4242. 800-881-4242.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
Partly sunny skies going through our Wednesday afternoon. Temperatures feeling a little more like late May. 80 for the high. Maybe a spot shower, but really tough to find. Some more clouds around, especially later on tonight. 59. Thursday, partly sunny. Couple of showers, maybe a rumble of thunder primarily late in the day on Thursday. 82. Best chance for rain is going to be during the day on Friday. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
STS-Armory.com. Pontoon Beach, Illinois is home to STS Armory and a very convenient place for you to drop by and look for your next firearm. Maybe it's your first firearm. Wherever you are at in the Second Amendment experience, the responsibility to be a smart and careful firearm owner is important. And I think that when you have somebody like Katie or Jesse Johnson, who owns and operates the family business of STS Armory, you realize that those questions that you have a place to go ask them. That you have experts at STS Armory that are going to be able to guide you to the right firearm purchase for you, whether it's a budget question or a purpose or an intent, a certain kind of hunting, self-defense, conceal and carry. They're there to guide you through all of these issues. If you're looking at fixing a FOID card problem, if you're trying to get your conceal and carry license, mine I renewed with a class at STS Armory in November. You've got the people in your corner with Katie and Jesse at STS Armory. 618-931-GUNS, 618-931-GUNS, online at sts-armory.com.
We, without hesitation, recommend that anybody work with ThrottleNet. The experience will be as good as it's been for us, for anybody, because you'll get a true partnership and you'll be able to rest easy that you're going to get the service that you need while they're also doing all those things that you don't want to have to think about, that you don't want to have to worry about. They're always doing that in the background for you.
Don't wait for your next IT crisis. If your business depends on technology, you need a partner that's got your back. Contact ThrottleNet.com to get a free IT evaluation and see how we can support your IT everything.
One of the things with running is I want to enjoy the run, but I never made it very far because the arches on my feet just killed me. So when I got to the end of my rope and I said, I have to do something to get rid of the pain, and a couple people recommended the Good Feet store to me. I loved how I could go in and get a free personalized arch support fitting. They put that time, that work, that effort into helping you find the right arch supports. And you can walk around the store with these in your shoes and try them out before you purchase them. So after I got my arch supports, the arches on my feet stopped hurting and the pain literally instantly went away. So if you have pain, go. Find a Good Feet store and go. There is an answer. Find the simple solution that will get rid of your pain. I'm Rondi, and that's my Good Feet story.
See how Good Feet arch supports work for you before you buy with a free fitting and test walk at the Good Feet store.
Visit one of our 2 locations, Creve Coeur and Shiloh, Illinois, and at goodfeet.com.
Renewal by Andersen is the #1 window and door brand for customer service. Find out why Renewal by Andersen has the most 5-star reviews in St. Louis at rbastl.com or call 314-332-1924, rbastl.com or 314-332-1924.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
Right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
The problem is you don't want to see special interest groups. If you're going to have a tariff policy, it should apply to everybody. I don't like the idea of, well, one group doesn't have the tariff, another does. It would be much better, in my opinion, to just have kind of a uniform. If we're going to have a tariff, let's just make it uniform. Everybody pays it on the imports that they bring in. Don't forget, by the way, because the mainstream media hasn't really been reporting on this. There will probably be higher tariffs on imported goods, regardless of how this turns out. But Trump is also talking about cutting the rate of tax on anything that's made in America to 15%, which would be huge. In other words, we would be shifting production away from the rest of the world to the United States, to create American jobs. I think that's a really an overlooked idea and something that would create a lot of high-paying jobs for Americans.
Well, that's our friend Steve Moore, who usually joins us on Mondays, talking about the situation with the tax cuts. Of course, he's been advocating for those to be made permanent and getting that job done. A lot of people are wondering right now, this big, beautiful bill that the House is going to have to figure out how to get through such a slim majority and to get it through the Senate onto the president's desk. how is that going to happen, and what kind of ideas are materializing in the process of trying to achieve the balance of the cuts that the Republicans would like to implement? Let's speak to our friend Deroy Murdock, who joins us once again, a nationally syndicated columnist, Project 21 ambassador, and a Fox News contributor. He has a great article right now in The Spectator. Deroy, thank you for being with us again. It's good to have you back.
Annie, great to be with you again.
Give us your thoughts right now on the task at hand for a very slim balance, a majority of Republicans in the House. The juggling that they have to do to get this through is difficult, but they're coming up with some ideas that may make some people a little bit nervous.
Yeah. Well, we're all trying to, all hoping for the passage, and hopefully soon, of the big, beautiful bill. And of course, the trouble with getting the big, beautiful bill is you've got a little ugly, tiny majority in the House and the Senate of 3 seats each. And that's better than it was a couple weeks ago before the special elections in Florida, when it was pretty much a 1-seat majority. So they have a little more wiggle room, but not much. And so they've got to get this bill through a narrow passage in the Senate and in the House. And you've got a lot of supply side oriented, tax cut oriented congressmen and senators who agree with Steve Moore, and I think you and me, that want to see a big, robust tax decrease. But you do have some nervous people who say, well, maybe it's cutting too much, or they have to have offset spending cuts equal to whatever the tax cut is. Some of the folks up where I live in the New York area, they want to see the restoration of the state and local tax deduction before they'll vote for this. So you've got a lot of things going on here, as you say. I think the first thing these guys ought to do, as I suggest in my article in the American Spectator, the headline is Down with GOP Tax Hike Talk. This whole idea of Republicans increasing taxes, there's some chatter about raising the top rate on millionaires and billionaires to 40%. If they do that, that would put the tax rate higher than Biden or Obama or Bill Clinton taxed millionaires and billionaires. So imagine the huge and ugly irony that would be. And just the idea of Republicans having control of the White House and the House and the Senate proposing any kind of a tax increase would be kind of like having, God forbid, Kamala Harris having won the White House. Chuck Schumer runs the Senate. Hakeem Jeffries is the Speaker of the House. And then the Democrats with full control of Washington, D.C. say, you know what we ought to do? We should cut off all federal funding for Planned Parenthood. I don't think that would happen. I don't think anybody would think that. Nobody certainly would say it out loud. And here we have GOP control of the White House, the House, and the Senate. And you have some Republicans saying, well, maybe we should raise taxes. No, Republicans were put on earth to cut taxes, not raise them, especially when there's no offsetting benefits, such as, let's say, if we agreed to a higher rate of taxes on millionaires, but in exchange, the Democrats said, okay, we'll agree to begin a new system of personal investment and savings accounts within Social Security that individuals could control rather than the government. Now, that might be a worthy trade-off, perhaps, but just to increase taxes, completely lose that signature issue that Republicans have had really since the days of Ronald Reagan would be stupid and short-sighted and totally counterproductive.
We're speaking with Deroy Murdock. I encourage you to read his piece on this particular topic in The Spectator, and we can share that as well. Deroy, I feel like with the Republicans, I don't even know how they're going to satisfy the wings of the Republican Party with this bill. I don't know that there is a way to do that. It feels as though in order to get this done, it's going to have to be an "in Trump we trust" situation where they say Donald Trump got us all here. We have a teeny tiny majority. There's no way that we're going to be able to get what everybody in the Republican Party wants. So instead of saying, I'm going to do it my way, people are going to have to go all in and say, we're going to do it Trump's way. That's the only way I feel like this is possible.
I think there's a lot of truth to that. And I think a lot of people respond well to either friendly or not so friendly pressure from Donald J. Trump. And he can be very persuasive, and certainly with people who agree with him on, 95% of things anyway. I think one way for anybody who's wobbly on this to think about it is that this isn't just a tax cut. What we're doing really is preventing the biggest tax increase in American history, because if the GOP does not make the Trump tax cuts permanent, they expire on January 1. And if that happens, you're going to get a massive, really, I think, the biggest tax increase on the American people ever. And that's not really good posture in which to go into the year of the midterm elections. That's a really good way, in fact, to prepare yourselves for the GOP to prepare itself to lose the House, lose the Senate, and then we can spend the next 2 years after that dealing with impeachment 3, impeachment 4, impeachment of Pam Bondi, the impeachment of Pete Hegseth, the impeachment of Marco Rubio, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. It'll be all impeachment all the time, and nothing productive will get done, and a lot of destructive things will happen. So if the GOP wants to maintain control of the House and Senate, it would be very smart for them to get this tax cut bill onto President Trump's desk as soon as possible. I don't think this ought to be done like Labor Day or July 4th. This ought to be done. I personally think it should have been done April 15th on tax day. If these guys were not on vacation but voting in Congress today, they might be able to get it on his desk by May 1st. I think that's unlikely, but at the latest, this should be Memorial Day, and every day sooner than that would be better.
Deroy Murdock with us right now. I'm thinking about the midterms, and I'm thinking about, the making permanent of these tax cuts. It doesn't seem like, from a voter standpoint, for just if you're on Main Street and these tax cuts be made permanent, I don't think there's going to be like great rejoicing in the streets, because I don't think people are paying attention to that. It seems like there's a lot of room for negative reaction, and that it's a must pass to make these tax cuts permanent just to keep the status quo. I'm wondering what you think are the major issues that will draw people who gave the Republican Party a chance in 2024 the motivation to show up in 2026 and maybe make that Republican majority in the House a few seats wider and retain the one in the Senate as well. What are those issues?
Good question. I think if we have a booming economy, which I think will happen if we get this big, beautiful tax cut bill signed into law, the economy will take off. I think one of the reasons the economy is sluggish now is a lot of uncertainty. People are not sure if the bill will pass. What will the tax rates be like next year? What will the tariff situation be? And so people are holding back on investing and starting new companies, expanding business operations, et cetera, and that's keeping things held back. I think if we do get certainty on lower tax rates, especially as Steve Moore said, a 15% corporate tax versus 21 today, if you produce in the United States of America, that will be a huge shot in the arm for the economy. I think things will pick up. If the economy is humming along beautifully next year, I think the GOP will do well at the midterms. I think if the situation at the border remains under control, that's a big plus for the GOP. I mean, I think I saw recently that by one measurement, people coming across the border are down 99% versus where they were under Biden. I mean, that's basically closure of the border. That's astonishing. Probably the tightest the border's been in our lifetimes. And I think if the situation with the tariff settles down and we have trade deals and all that hubbub goes away, that'll be a very big plus. And I think if we have either peace in Russia and Ukraine, peace in the Middle East between Israel and Hamas, or better yet, Hamas just gets totally wiped out. And even if we have some sort of a deal to keep the Iranians from having nuclear weapons, I think that'll be a big positive. And President Trump and the GOP will be able to go to the American people and say, you put us in office 2 years ago. We've brought you peace. We've brought you prosperity. We've brought everything back to normal. And we've ended the chaos of the Biden, Nancy Pelosi, Hakeem Jeffries, AOC, Bernie Sanders, Democrat Party. And my guess is they'll continue to go to stay as crazy as they have been, flying down to help out Abrego Garcia, the illegal alien, wife-beating, gang-banging terrorist from El Salvador, who's the new poster boy for the Democrat Party. I just saw something funny that somebody at I think the Republican Rapid Response team put together this picture of Congressman Van Hollen, Senator Chris Van Hollen, and 4 congressmen who've been down there militating on behalf of this Mr. Abrego Garcia, and the picture shows them together and refers to them as the Congressional MS-13 Caucus, which I think is wonderful.
Yeah,
absolutely brilliant. So if they do that and they keep screaming for transgender stuff, you have the Democrats saying, we want to have your first, second, and third grade kids listening to all these, so-called queer theory books in class. And no, we don't want you to opt out. If you're a parent, you don't like it, too bad. Either leave your kid in public classroom or take your kids out and put them in private school. This is what they were screaming in the Supreme Court just yesterday. So if they're going to continue to push the gas pedal down on these issues, which are 80-20 issues, only 20% of the public likes this stuff. And of course, the Democrats decide, let's put ourselves where the 20% of people are and, basically give the middle finger to the 80% of the American people. That's not going to bode well for them in the midterms next year. So those are kind of things that the GOP ought to be doing. And the Democrats are smart. They'll take a pivot towards the center, but it looks like they're just going to continue to move further and further left and, clutch on that 20% of the electorate. I wish them a lot of luck with that.
Deroy, I think too about what will happen in the midterms will also be determined by what the Democrats do. We see a lot of people showing up to these AOC, Bernie Sanders rallies. They show up to the rallies flying privately on a jet, which is a little little ironic. Do you think that the message that AOC and Bernie Sanders has to share with the American people is the message of the Democrat Party?
Largely it is. I mean, AOC and Bernie Sanders are talking about full-blown socialism. Hakeem Jeffries and the rest of them might be talking about, slightly lower calorie socialism. But I don't see anybody in the Democrat Party talking about limited government, increased choice for people, whether it's in the economy or school choice or anything like that. I hear nothing from them about tax reduction, nothing about them about, okay, let's have programs, but let's spend more intelligently. When you've got Elon Musk and Doge saying that 40% of the calls to the Social Security 800 number, whatever it is, are fraudulent, and people trying to get Granny's money out of Granny's hands and put them into somebody's offshore account or whatever it is. You'd think the Democrats would say, you know what, we're with you. We don't want to see Granny lose her money. Let's stamp out this fraud. Go. And instead, fire Elon Musk, kick Elon Musk out of the country, send him back to South Africa, shut down Doge. Doge is awful. Doge is an offshoot of the Nazi Party, blah, blah, blah. I don't see anybody in the Democrat Party saying anything of any value to anyone. It's become, I think, a clear and present danger to the American people. It's become the party of crime. It's become the party of political violence. It's become the party of vote fraud. It's the party of carving up your kids and removing their genitalia. This is a completely out of control party. I don't think they have anything good to offer. I'd feel better if I saw somebody in the Democrat Party speaking any sense. But, at best, they're deeply confused. At worst, they're terribly destructive. So I think the AOC Bernie Sanders message is the message of the Democrat Party. And AOC and Bernie Sanders, believe it or not, are not the worst of them.
Oh, man. Well, we appreciate you, Deroy, and we're going to share that article from The Spectator that you've written on these tax cuts. If Republicans need to quickly get this job done, I know a lot of people are paying attention to it and waiting for that day. We appreciate you bringing attention to it here on the show. Thanks for being with us.
Okay, Annie. Thanks a million. See you.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
You as well. Bye-bye. Deroy Murdock as a Project 21 ambassador, Fox News contributor, and of course, a nationally syndicated columnist. When we come back, Taylor Riggs is going to join us, co-host of the Big Money Show on Fox Business, and we're going to talk to her about tariffs. There's some development today, some at least commentary from President Trump on the White House lawn about negotiations with China, and that's the big one. That's the big kahuna, so to speak, on getting the new trade deals negotiated and agreed upon. I do not believe that China and the United States are anywhere close to a deal, but it sounds like at least they're having conversations. That's a good start. We'll talk to Taylor Riggs about how this is going and what it means for you and for me as folks just trying to pay attention to their retirement, trying to work hard, take care of yourself, and do so without too much interference and all these other things. Let's listen to Taylor Riggs on the Andy Fry Show next. Don't go away.
Couldn't wait to get going, but wasn't quite ready to leave. So when I see
You're listening to The Annie Fry Show. The Annie Fry Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
There's a wild, wild whisper blowing.
Air Comfort Service. You can find them online at aircomfortservice.com. I want you to know that when you reach out to Air Comfort Service, you're going to be able to trust these people. I love the Air Comfort Service techs that have come to my house. There's usually a couple of guys who come over and they assess the situation. Now, I have had my air conditioner replaced by Air Comfort Service. I've had my furnace replaced by Air Comfort Service. They've come in and installed a new water heater for us in our house because when you got 6 people showering all the time, you need a big one. They've also done an AeroSeal duct sealing for my home to make sure that the ventilation didn't have leaks throughout the course of it, which causes you to have to run your heating and air conditioning units a whole bunch more to get the air temperature controlled all the way through the home. I trust them in my house. I think that's a really important thing to understand, that they are very good at what they do and they are very kind as well. Put the number in your phone. If you don't need to call them right now, you might need to call them in the future, and you want to know in that moment who you can trust. You can trust Air Comfort Service. 314-513-0091, 314-513-0091, aircomfortservice.com.
Why do the national tax resolution firms need the tiny fine print at the bottom of all their TV ads? Hi, this is Lance Story with the Lance Story Law Firm. You don't hear fast talking disclaimers in our ads because the claims we make are 100% transparent. The Lance Story Law Firm primarily focuses on one thing, IRS problems, and we're regulated by the Bar Association, and we have a AAA rating with the Better Business Bureau. IRS issues are serious legal issues. The Lance Story Law Firm has helped thousands of clients navigate the best resolution plans, and we tell you up front exactly how much it'll cost. Tax resolution law is all we do. So before you send money to some out-of-town, high-pressure salesperson, give us a call at the Land Story Law Firm, located right here in St. Louis. Call today to schedule your free consultation with me, 314-260-6120, or visit LanceDruryLaw.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
A message for qualified investors from Noble Gold Investments. If your portfolio is over $250,000 and you aren't hedged, you're sitting on a ticking time bomb. With markets at all-time highs, history tells us what comes next. A 10% allocation into gold and silver can help diversify. Experienced investors know that in times of economic uncertainty, real assets, not paper promises, offer true security. Noble Gold Investments makes it easy to add institutional-grade gold and silver to your portfolio, so you can hedge like the world's smartest investors. For nearly a decade, Noble Gold has helped thousands of Americans protect their future, turning numbers on a screen into real, tangible assets. And right now, when you make a qualified investment, Noble Gold will add a free 10th-ounce gold coin to your order. Disciplined investors protect what they've built. Visit NobleGoldInvestments.com today. NobleGoldInvestments.com.
Past performance may not be indicative of future results. Investing in precious metals, including gold, involves risks. Consult with your tax attorney or financial professional before making an investment decision.
You're listening to the Annie Fry Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Save now with 2024 pricing and carrier cool cash rebates up to $1,700 on a new HVAC system. For details, visit aircomfortservice.com.
This is the Annie Fry Show. Follow Annie on X at Annie Fry Show.
When I was drunk, didn't mean to call you that.
I wish to be clear. America first does not mean America alone. To the contrary, it is a call for deeper collaboration and mutual respect among trade partners. Far from stepping back, America First seeks to expand U.S. leadership in international institutions like the IMF and the World Bank. By embracing a stronger leadership role, America First seeks to restore fairness to the international economic system.
We've been hearing America First is a Trump policy from the very beginning. And when we listen to all the trade negotiations, the tariff implementation, the word fairness is used quite an awful lot. Listening to the Secretary of Treasury, Scott Bessent there say, it's not America First is not America alone. We sit and we wait and we watch as these deals are negotiated. Let's get to our guest. Taylor Riggs back with us once again, co-host of the Big Money Show on Fox Business. You can follow her on X at Riggs Report. Taylor, welcome back. Good to have you here.
Thanks for having me.
Of course. Give us your thoughts right now. I know we talked, I think the last time we talked, it was like when tariffs were about to be implemented or maybe just had, and there's a lot of uncertainty. There's probably still uncertainty, but where do you feel this far in from Liberation Day about the tariff situation, how it's affecting the American economy?
Yeah, so gosh, I think we're still TBD. Look, a lot of economists that I speak to say we're definitely heading for a little bit of a slowdown. The IMF downgraded global growth yesterday a little bit. But frankly, the best news is we're in the middle of earnings season, which means all of these big companies that are out there have to report their quarterly numbers. And we're hearing from these CEOs. And I'm actually relatively impressed by the companies who are coming out and reaffirming their full year guidance, saying we can still stick to here's what we think is going to happen this year. And it's the same as what I told you it was going to be 3 months ago. I was very worried that I was going to get a lot of these CEOs of these big companies saying, we're having to pull our guidance because I have no visibility into the future. We don't know what the tariff situation is going to be. Things are really uncertain. We don't have a read on the economy. And I overwhelmingly am not hearing that. I'm hearing most companies coming out and saying, here's the tariff impact and here's our business plan for the rest of the year. So that's really reassuring because those are the people who, Kimberly Clark, for example, when you're buying your diapers and your Kleenex and your toilet paper. I want to know what that CEO was saying about the consumer. Things aren't totally falling apart. We're not all falling out of bed. So I do take comfort in that. I think tariffs have been very confusing. As you know, it has been on and off. And is it Scott Besson in charge? Is it Peter Navarro? Is it Howard Lutnick? I think the White House right now is doing a very good job about putting Scott Besson out there. He is the voice on tariffs that the market really trusts and listens to. You played that soundbite at the beginning. He is spot on. America first does not mean America alone. We're waiting for some of these trade deals to be signed, and you're starting to see some of the calmness return to the market.
We're speaking with Taylor Riggs, the co-host of the Big Money Show on Fox Business. Not an economist myself. Don't play one on the radio either. That's why we're so grateful for experts like you to come here. But I heard the president say in as a campaign candidate that he wanted tariffs. His favorite word, he would say, and he did couch the success that we would get to by saying it might be difficult at first. If you want to do something as transformative as what the president is saying he wants to do, I would assume there's no easy path to get to the other side of this.
Correct. Honestly, in my opinion, it's going to could be another 3 to 6 months of uncertainty. I mean, on average, trade deals take 18 months to negotiate. We're trying to do these in 60 days, in 90 days, right? So, of course, there's going to be uncertainty. Of course, we're going to have some fits and some starts and some ups and some downs. But I keep hearing from everyone, the first half of this year has been difficult for, talk about the equity market in your pension fund, for example. But the second half of the year could be positive if we start to navigate and get some of these trade deals done. I think what a lot of people want to see is give me a couple really good big deals. Get me Japan and India to sign. We can start to worry about China later. But if we can start to ink deals with some of these major trading partners, have a blueprint in place where other countries can start to follow, that sounds good. I think the White House yesterday said they have 18 proposals on paper. And 34 additional countries are coming to talk to us this week. So there is progress being made, but I think you and me and a lot of Americans at home we're sort of transitioning from the tell me phase to the show me phase. Show me the fruits of this. Don't just talk about it anymore. But I come back to all of the conversations that you and I have had about what did the American people vote for? I do not want my antibiotics made in China.
Amen.
So is there going to be pain with that? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Is there, a 10, 20, 30%, 150% tariff needed to make that happen? Probably, because companies are doing their duty and they're just going where labor is cheap because that's the best way for them to make money. But we're rethinking about how important that really is in the grand scheme of things. So do I need to make Nike sneakers in America? I don't, but I would like to make really high-tech, advanced chip factories here. I'd like to make super, super advanced pharmaceuticals here. Those are, in terms of priorities, I think what American people really can stand behind.
Yeah, that's real smart.
Taylor, this is Ryan. I'm glad you went there because that's where my question was going is, there are a lot of companies that we've seen announce that they're moving either more operations or opening branches, or they're maybe moving the whole thing to the United States. That seemed really fast to me that so many companies have responded that quickly. I guess what I'm asking is, was that already planned that they were going to do these things? And is the move companies, move manufacturing back to America movement, showing what the business community was wanting to see?
I do not think it was planned. I think this was Trump. I think that they saw the writing on the wall in November. And then when he took office in January, and you had some of the best companies like TSMC, the best chip maker in the world based in Taiwan, Apple, great classic American company, coming to President Trump and saying, because of the 75 million people who voted this way, and because of your plan for the next 4 years, this is how we are responding to that, like any good CEO would. I don't think they would do this had Trump not threatened tariffs. So I do think that that's been a great negotiating tool in these companies choosing to open up or move operations back to America, I believe solely because of the president. The hard part is how long it takes and carve outs. The problem with tariffs is you had all of these companies, like yesterday, for example, Walmart, Home Depot, and Target started to talk to the president. I don't need a carve out for the big companies. I want to look out for the small companies. I don't need Apple to have an exemption on still making their chips in China. I need Apple, who has the ability to make $100 billion a year, to figure out on their own how to move back to America. I don't want Trump to give them a reprieve, a carve out. So that's my only worries when you start to get these businesses who are talking to the president, who are all asking for exemptions. I don't think that works sector by sector. I think sort of you need that blanket policy. And so I think people are just, again, sort of waiting. China is going to be the biggie. I don't think we're going to be getting a deal with China immediately. So how do we figure out with the advanced chips that we really, really need, how do we start to make those here and how long does it take? If you're trying to reformulate an automotive factory, that could take 3 years. By then, we're in another presidential election cycle. That's my worry. China doesn't believe in elections, so Xi Jinping is going to be there for the next 100 years. We're looking at midterms next September. So how much of the pressure and the willingness are we willing to take before there's a new administration in charge?
Taylor Riggs speaking with us, co-host of the Big Money Show on Fox Business. The tariff conversation seems like the hugest economic conversation we could have, but at the same time, we're waiting on the tax cuts to be made permanent. We're also waiting on the effect of DOGE and all of the clawback money to be made permanent as well. What do you think about these other two factors of the Trump approach to rebalancing the economy? How much effect is that going to have on Main Street?
Yes, huge. These are the two tailwinds to offset the big headwind of tariffs, right? A lot of people are thinking we should have done DOGE and tax cuts first and tariffs later. Regardless of the order, tax cuts are mandatory. We have to get this done. I would argue, this is just me. Congress doesn't get their summer 2-week break. We pull them back and they work until they get a tax cut bill on the president's desk, and then they can go take their 3 weeks off. But why they're on vacation when we don't have a tax bill on the president's desk is shocking to me. I'm paying them to do their job, and their job is to make these tax cuts permanent because that's what the American people voted for. That's a huge tailwind in terms of the clarity that it provides business leaders. There's one proposal out there, not to get too wonky, about instead of capitalizing or spreading out over time how much it costs to build a factory, you can do a one-time immediate expense. So if I want to build a factory, I can write the whole thing off and not put it all on my income statement, right? Those are things, if I'm a business leader and I'm trying to invest and plan, I need to know that that's happening now. I don't want to wait until September. And DOGE is huge. Look, the cuts aren't as big as we thought for now. I think it's around $160 billion, but that's not nothing. So I love DOGE. I think it is work that needed to be done. And again, those are the big tailwinds that this economy needs to offset any impact from the tariffs.
Well, we're going to continue to follow it because, I'm just imagining the day where all three of these things hit at the same day. And we're like, oh my gosh, which way do we go? But I imagine that what we've seen with a little bit of up and down, a lot of bit of up and down in the stock market, that the reaction there upon any of these three entities being, made permanent and getting the good news that we're hoping to get, that the economy will react accordingly and it will be a new day in America.
Yes. And I would also remind your viewers, the market is not the economy. The market went up for 2 straight years. We're up over 50%. But a lot of people were feeling like the economy wasn't that good. So, of course, it's hard when I check my 401k or my retirement fund and you see we're still down 7% or so from the year. Well, that still means I'm up 43% in the last 2 to 3 years. So it's all about perspective. And I, again, remind your audience, I'm an investor for the long run. I'm investing now and hoping that the market is giving me a good return 10 or 20 years from now. I'm not selling today and trying to day trade around these events. I think that's a losing battle.
Well, Taylor, we appreciate you. Thank you for being with us and bringing some common sense facts to the conversation. We need to have a lot of that, and we're grateful for your time. So thanks for
My
being with us.
pleasure.
Take care. Bye-bye. Taylor Riggs, co-host of The Big Money Show on Fox Business. I really appreciate her voice on this, and it's a very honest and steady, I think, way to approach all of these things that seem super unsteady. Isn't it weird? We were talking just yesterday, like if you watch Fox News, you're getting really not 100% of the time, 75% of the time, you're getting the political view of things. If you go over to Fox Business, 75% of the time, it seems like you're kind of getting the money business side of things with 25% of the politics thrown in. And it's just, I've been going back and forth quite a lot, listening to them more now than I ever had before because of all of these economic transformations that the Trump administration is trying to implement. And we are midstream on all of it. And we see what's on the other side. It's just kind of like if you're crossing a really, really aggressive river and you need to get from the east side of the river to the west side of the river, and it's a moving, it's the Mississippi. When you get into the river to get across, you are going to have to fight that current all the way down. That doesn't mean you can't cross. It's just going to be where you went across is going to look a little bit different than where you started. And that's kind of where we are right now. We're still rowing. We're still working hard. I know you and I are both watching the things that Donald Trump promised that he would do. We're here in the middle of the stream trying to get to the other side. We haven't failed. We haven't capsized. It's not a total disaster, but we want to get to the other side.
People are talking about Trump's economic policy being such a fork in the road that this is a moment that's changing the post-World War II economics. That's how big people are saying this is. So the markets are naturally a little shaky. They're going, oh my gosh, this is such a big change. But for us to be where America needs to be, like you said, this is a long-term thing that, I mean, gosh, if the markets even stay around where they're at through all this, that's a huge win.
Yeah.
No guarantee they will,
Yeah.
but the one thing too that she mentioned in that interview, that the first time I had heard about it actually was when Todd Sivia was in here, because he mentioned this too. And I had not heard much about it. And I think this is something that business owners and people who are starting businesses need to hear more of, that she mentioned, is the fact that they're trying to pass 100% tax credit for hard goods, for businesses to open, to build, to buy things. That is a massive, massive incentive for small business. And when I say small business, I'm not just talking about mom and pop stuff. I'm talking about, like pretty big regional businesses that could open in different parts of the country, just because they know anything I spend, that's 100% back to me in tax credit. That's big.
Yeah. And people do need to know about it, and they need to know about it sooner than later.
Yeah. Find out about it now.
Good to talk to Taylor Riggs. All right, well, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk a little bit about the poll. Is it okay to call a non-family member sweetheart? Ryan is emphatically yes. He just won't stop talking about it. We'll get to the content that led us to this question today when we return. And I think some of you out there are going to have that same visceral reaction that I have to what I'm going to play for you. And other y'all are going to be like, so what? We'll find out who's who next.
You're listening to The Annie Fry Show. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
Artisticdecks.net. I want you to know that your dream deck is available this summer. That's pretty cool. I think for me, at least, when I want to do some sort of big promotion, big type of addition or some sort of renovation to my home, I always think, gosh, but how long is it going to take? Because, we live in a time where we want it now. Artistic Decks, if you reach out to them at 314-280-0821, or just real quick, pull them up right now, artisticdecks.net. Look at the decks that they have built here in the St. Louis area. They are stunning. They are beautiful. They are customized to your needs and what you're looking to do and to enjoy outside on a day like today. 78 degrees and mostly sunny. Imagine sitting and listening to this show, feet up on your new furniture, on your brand new deck, enjoying the sounds of the birds and the cars driving by and the wonderful sound of the Annie Fry Show. Artistic Decks can make that possible for you this summer. Free design and consultation. They've been doing this for over 2 decades here in St. Louis, and they've been delivering the dream deck to people exactly like you at an affordable price. 314-280-0821. 314-280-0821. artisticdecks.net.
Did you hear? A recent stash of $10 gold Liberty coins from the 1800s has been found. These gorgeous gold coins are as bright and shiny as the day they were struck in the late 1800s, and less than 200 of these gold coins are available. Coin experts are calling this gold find an incredible opportunity. Call 1-800-973-9819. And you are guaranteed a $10 gold Liberty coin minted by the U.S. Mint in the 1800s. But with extremely limited availability, you must call now. These gold Liberty coins from the 1800s are still in uncirculated condition. That is history you can hold in your hand. To learn more, call 1-800-973-9819. Call now and you'll receive a free American Coin Collector's Bonus Package, a $40 value, free with every order. Call 1-800-973-9819 now to secure your $10 gold Liberty coins dated from the 1800s before they sell out. That's 1-800-973-9819.
Hey guys, it's Mark Reardon. If you're struggling with low energy, performance issues, or weight gain, Game Day Men's Health has got you covered with testosterone therapy, ED treatments, and more in all of a relaxed man cave environment. At Game Day, you'll get a free testosterone test and consultation, all in just 1 hour. Game Day is the premier men's health clinic with locations in Chesterfield, O'Fallon, Missouri, and Glen Carbon, Illinois. Visit GameDayMen'sHealth.com. That's GameDayMen'sHealth.com. Get back in the game with Game Day Men's Health.
Surprise!
Surprise!
You know, surprise parties, they can be fun, right? Well, financial surprises, not so much, especially when you're retired, like finding out you owe more in taxes than you thought you would, or having to go back to work to make ends meet. Maybe you think you'll be okay, but why not double check just to be sure? Call Marvin Mitchell at Compass Retirement Solutions and schedule a retirement double check. Marvin and his team have been helping families plan for retirement for more than 15 years. Call 314-373-1598 to schedule your retirement double check with Marvin Mitchell at Compass Retirement Solutions. That's 314-373-1598. Don't let a financial surprise derail your retirement dreams. Give Marvin and the team a call, 314-373-1598. Firm offers insurance services, investments, and services offered through Compass Retirement Group, a registered investment advisory in Missouri and in Illinois.
I'm Ultima Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Every time one of my children started driving, it was terrifying. Thousands of accidents happen across the country. We see it every day. If you've been injured in a car accident, call us.
Dial pound law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
The YouTube live chat poll today is one that is very near and dear to my heart. Is it okay to call a non-family member sweetheart? Like at a restaurant or something like that? Yes or no? Let us know what you think. As I understand it, there's a pretty decent split on this poll. Let us know what you think and why you think what you think, and we'll play the clip for you that even caused this poll here in just a minute. 146, this time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
The Foley Foundation works tirelessly to bring American hostages home. Kim St. here. We're raising awareness about the Foley Foundation's mission to reunite families, hold captors accountable, and prevent future hostage taking. Visit 971talk.com/events to learn more.
Where are you now when darkness seems to end?
This is the Annie Fry Show.
Where are you now?
Interact with Annie on Facebook. The Annie Fry Show.
Oh, I hear you say, look up, child.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. Good show so far. Derrick Keith Cox, the Collinsville Township Supervisor, in studio with us at 12:25, so in the middle of the 12 o'clock hour, and we talked about the rally that we're having to encourage the state legislature, specifically the Senate, because the Illinois State House has already passed it, to allow local control over whether or not mascots that, folks in the city of Rockford, how they feel about the Collinsville mascot, the Mascot mascot, the Cahokia mascot, the Freeburg mascot, West Glen mascot, all of these mascots around here. There's more. And I know you, every time I make a long list, I get like 3 texts from people like, you forgot to say this one.
But keep texting her. We want to know those. Yeah, keep texting her.
I know, I got it. And I want to make sure that we all have a voice, a collective voice to say, please leave this up to the local communities. It's going to be the community's taxpayer dollars that are going to have to fix this. It's going to be in the millions for every single district are going to get poured into redoing football fields and scoreboards and basketball courts and uniforms and letterhead and all of this stuff. Millions of dollars per school district to implement the change that these legislators are saying must absolutely happen in the state of Illinois, which is a Native American based word. There's no end to this. It's not going to change. You can try to do this thing and feel really good and comfortable in your self-aggrandized virtue for the night when you put your head on your pillow, but then the next day you've got to change the name of the state and probably a few other states around us as well. So come join us. It's a positive, nonpartisan pep rally to come together and just support our mascots, show up for them, for these schools. I know a lot of alum listening right now, alumni from these various areas. You don't have to be an alumni from these schools. If you think that local control is important in the state of Illinois, we need you to show up 2:00 at K-Hawk Stadium. It's the Collinsville football stadium, Collinsville High School football stadium. And it's not just for Collinsville K-Hawks. We actually want to make it as big and broad and get as many people from the area communities to show up together to have a fun, positive, peaceful pep rally to support local control over these issues. Please come. The YouTube live chat poll for today. Is it okay to call a non-family member sweetheart? So I was scrolling through my social media timeline and I came across this little clip. Now, Randy Weingarten is the president of the NFT.
I thought it was the American Federation of Teachers, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, AFT. And she is being questioned by Martha McCallum, who I really appreciate. I think she is incredibly smart, very good at what she does. The question about, ending the Department of Education, and a reminder, when the Department of Education goes away, the things that it did are going to other departments. The Department of Education did not come into existence until Jimmy Carter put it into existence as a favor to the teachers' unions during his presidency. It hasn't been here forever. The Department of Education is not in the Constitution or the Declaration of Independence. It's something that is actually, all things considered, relatively new to how we manage education in our country. And the question that needs to continue to be asked, if everything that we're doing right now, the status quo in education, shouldn't be changed, if the Trump administration shouldn't be changing anything, let's look at where test scores are going. Are they going up? Are they going down? Is there a drastic change? Our test scores suck. It's embarrassing, and they need to be improved. And the people who are managing education right now and the biggest influences on our education, our public education system, don't seem to be interested in answering that question. Martha McCallum asked Randy Weingarten, the president of this teachers union, that question. And all of that context is not what the poll question is about. The poll question is about the way Randy Weingarten, when it started to get a little tense in this interview, because Martha McCallum was doing her job as a journalist and pushing back on Randy Weingarten, saying that these test scores, these falling test scores should matter to the American people and their investment in public education. Randy Weingarten's not having it. And she's trying to get Martha McCallum's attention and probably silence in this conversation. And she goes about it this way.
You have actually very difficult. Martha, sweetheart, listen to me.
Please don't call me sweetheart.
It actually does. I'm sorry. My bad. It actually does matter.
When you say Martha. When you say that and then you follow it up with sweetheart, I'm going to let you guys answer this question without going too hard into it myself. You will probably never know what it's like to be a woman who's called sweetheart in this context, right? Have you ever been called sweetheart in a pejorative way?
No.
Brad?
Yes, but it was by a woman.
How?
It was the same situation. And it's like, it's the old, oh, sweetheart, oh, honey, that sort of thing. And it
was there an age difference?
No, this was somebody that was close to my age.
Is that all the story?
Well, yeah. I mean, it irritates me. I don't like it.
What was the setting? What was the context of like?
Oh, geez, what were we arguing about? We were standing face to face, and
it was dusk on a beach. We were standing face to face, arguing over Doge.
I forget what we were arguing, something over politics or discussing something over politics, and whenever you start getting the upper hand, it is an attitude of oh listen, you don't even know what you're talking about. It's a belittling move. At least that's the way it felt to me. Because I was making my point, and it's like, sweetheart, you just don't even understand.
How'd it make you feel?
It was, what's the word? Infantile? Yeah, it's like they tried to make you feel like a kid, and that made me feel angry.
You've never been called sweetheart? You kind of want to.
As Brad was telling that story,
you said
something in the back of my head said maybe I have in a situation like that. I don't remember though.
Well, you're on a beach arguing about Doge.
Yeah.
I had a flashback of PTSD. That's why you hate it so much. You said it is okay to call a family member sweetheart. Were you serious?
I said it is okay in certain circumstances.
So you're a yes in the poll.
I'm a yes in the poll.
Explain yourself, sweetheart.
If you are
see how that felt?
No, I don't. I don't see how that felt because
I'll keep trying.
I don't know which direction you're going with it. I think there is a situation, and I'll tell you what that situation is. If you are a very sweet old man and you are in a restaurant and you say that to a very young girl in the nicest way possible, oh, you're such a sweetheart. That's fine. That's
not really calling someone sweetheart. That's different. And that's a really specific situation.
I found one though.
Is that the only one where it's okay?
There are situations like that if you have somebody who's very, very old talking to somebody who's very young.
So you're saying the only way it's okay is if someone's too old to know better?
Kinda.
So then it's not okay.
I don't even know if too old to know better, because I don't think they need to know better. I just think they're using the word in a nice way, and that there's nothing wrong
like
with
a
it.
tone. It's the
tone. Yeah. There more often than not, the way that word would be used would be viewed as belittling. But there are situations where I think it would be okay. I can't wait to be that old man.
That's the problem.
I'm going to be a really great old man.
I think that you're identifying, I don't think old men who are saying sweetheart to younger females, I don't think that that's done with malintent. But it's not something that's done to males of the same age. You don't see it. You don't. I'm not saying that you should like correct if you're a server and someone keeps calling you sweetheart, that you should correct the person and be that person. But since you've carved out the 1% of the purpose of this entire poll and derailed our conversation to this particular thing, if the intent is fine, I'm big on intent. If people are trying to say something nice, then okay. But it still is belittling.
Even in that circumstance, you think it's still, if you're a young female and somebody older, what about if it's a woman, an older woman that says it to you? Does that change it?
It completely depends on the circumstances, but and the way it's being delivered, of course. But like I said, intent is everything.
Yeah.
I don't know. We've probably just thrown the entire poll into a tizzy, and we won't have good results now because of that. So.
Well, it's just where I am, and I just want you guys to be blessed.
Do you have
Bless
any?
your heart.
Do you have any comments on the YouTube poll in the context that we presented it with Martha McCallum and Randy Weingarten and the sound that we played, or is that not part of the?
Yeah, I'm a hard no on that. In fact, most situations like Brad described is probably how that word's being used nowadays.
And how we're asking the poll question.
Okay, okay, then I'm a no in that sense.
Have you ever been around someone who? I mean, the like sweetheart in her instance is kind of a bless your heart, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, it's so belittling to the person who you're saying it to. And it's interesting to hear Brad's story of a female who did it to you with the exact same intent. I wonder if she got sweethearted and was like, I can't wait to play that back. Maybe.
I don't know that there's a situation where you're
we
not.
Have to break.
Yeah, sorry.
We'll be right back.
I don't know if you heard with them, these energy mandates. Luckily, this year they stopped the continuation of this government mandates, but the new refrigerants did not stop, so that is out. So be careful, buyer beware on what you're purchasing. If you're looking for a new system and just want a common sense approach to picking a system, i.e., are you going to save money? Is your energy bills going down? All the stuff that we've been hearing for about the last 25 years. Bottom line is, when it comes to the efficiencies, it's going to be your house. I only have 60 seconds to do this in, so if you want a common sense approach and you are looking at purchasing a system or getting prices on systems, please call me. It's one easy number, Missouri and Illinois. It's 314-293-2600. 314-293-2600, or on the internet is bartinman.com. That is Bart with a B, Inman with an I.com. God bless.
Hi, I'm Bob Kershaw with Retirement Advisory Group. Are you worried about market volatility? Are you concerned your money won't last you through retirement?
Hi, I'm Tammy Kershaw, and as a family-owned business, we are committed to protecting your retirement, whether you're nearing retirement or already retired. We have a lot of folks that aren't aware of all the new investment choices that are available, which give you growth and protection from losses at the same time. Are you aware of all the fees that you are currently paying? We can show you how to avoid those fees. So come in now for your free retirement review and get a second opinion on your retirement plan. And just for coming in, you'll get a copy of our latest edition book, Your Key to a Worry-Free Retirement. Let us show you how to retire with confidence.
We are proud to say we haven't lost a penny of our clients' money in 39 years, and we won't lose a penny of yours either. Let our family help your family. Call us now at 314-993-9494 or go online to retirementkey.com. That's retirementkey.com.
KFTK FM Florissant. An Odyssey station.
President Trump isn't giving up. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. That message from the White House on fair trade.
This is the art of the deal. President Trump is using the leverage of the United States to bring nations to the negotiating table.
White House spokeswoman Caroline Leavitt telling Fox that includes China, but she denies any softening of the president's position after he and the Treasury Secretary signaled the current U.S. tariffs on Chinese imports are too high.
Let me be clear. There will be no unilateral reduction in tariffs against China. The president has made it clear China needs to make a deal with the United States of America, and we are optimistic that will happen.
Leavitt also just said Ukraine's president is moving in the wrong direction on peace talks. This after President Trump in a social media post accused President Zelensky of prolonging war by not recognizing Crimea as Russian territory. Vice President Vance has said both sides will need to agree to give up territory as part of a peace plan. Russia seized Crimea in 2014. Zelensky's chief of staff reaffirming territorial integrity as a core principle during talks with a U.S. envoy in London today. A steady stream of mourners paying respects to Pope Francis now lying in state after a procession moving his coffin to St. Peter's Basilica earlier today.
It begins the official public mourning for Pope Francis, who died Monday at the age of 88. His coffin now placed in front of the altar of confession that rests over the bones of the first Pope, St. Peter. Some 20,000 people watched the procession from St. Peter's Square, afterwards waiting in long lines, some as much as 5 hours, to view the Pope's mortal remains.
Fox's Lauren Green in Rome. The Pope's funeral on Saturday will begin 9 days of mourning before the focus turns to the conclave, where cardinals will choose a new pope. America is listening to Fox News.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
They told us nothing but lies.
These timeshare thieves out there are terrible.
They bullied us.
Our timeshare is all a scam.
They stole from us. They were thieves.
I was completely taken advantage of.
Hello, I'm Chuck McDowell, founder and CEO of Wesley Financial Group, and I know the tough spot you're in. Are you asking yourself, why did I buy that timeshare? I'll tell you why, because that presentation wasn't a normal sales pitch. It was a show to convince you that timeshare is a great investment. They told you it was available today and today only. They said you're foolish if you don't buy, and unfortunately, you believed them. We get over 3,000 complaints a week from folks just like you that were misled into buying a timeshare. Give us a call. I guarantee you, if we take you as a client, we will cancel your timeshare or you'll pay nothing.
Call now for your free information kit. 800-881-4242. 800-881-4242. 800-881-4242.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
Partly sunny skies going through our Wednesday afternoon. Temperatures feeling a little more like late May. 80 for the high. Maybe a spot shower, but really tough to find. Some more clouds around, especially later on tonight. 59 Thursday. Partly sunny. Couple of showers, maybe a rumble of thunder primarily late in the day on Thursday. 82. Best chance for rain is going to be during the day on Friday. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Don't get lulled into believing the IRS is getting soft. It's just the opposite. Hi, this is Lance Story with the Lance Story Law Firm. We are being told by IRS collection officers that their higher-ups are demanding that they get more aggressive than ever. So don't ignore them any longer. Level up. If you have unfiled returns, unpaid taxes, levies, or liens, call the Lance Story Law Firm today and let us get between you and the IRS. We'll protect your rights, including your right to appeal or even your right to take the IRS to tax court. Remember, IRS problems are legal problems, and they need to be handled by an expert attorney team who's done it for decades. So call the Lance Story Law Firm today. We're local. Our office is right here in St. Louis, or visit Lance, DRURY, law.com to schedule your free consultation with your local tax resolution law firm, the Lance Story Law Firm, 314-260-6120.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Stewart's American Mortgage, a man you can trust with your new mortgage, your mortgage refinance, and you need to ask about the bagel loan. The bagel loan is special because when you get your new mortgage or you get a mortgage refinance, which is another new mortgage, you pay $0 in closing costs when you go through the process of securing that bagel loan, and you can do it in like 2 weeks, less than 2 weeks. Super fast turnaround. You can access the lowest rates that are available to you with Stewie. You don't sacrifice there. You go through the process. It's super quick. He'll explain it to you in the most minutia detail that you want or not. I kind of, the first time was like, explain it all to me. The second time I did a bagel loan refinance, I was like, I got it. Let's just get this done. One time I lowered my rate. The second time I lowered my rate again, and I was able to take some equity out of my home to put a new deck on the back of my house. You can trust him with all of these instances. Maybe you want to pay down some high interest credit card debt. Maybe you want to put some money towards higher education, whatever it might be. Stewie will walk you through the whole process. He will make sure you understand it and are comfortable with it. And with the bagel loan, you go through that whole process, zero closing costs. 314-324-4440, 314-324-4440. Google the bagel loan, NMLS number 226715.
If you need a new garage door, this could be your lucky day. Entries are now open for the $5,000 sweepstakes at Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. The winner will be chosen at random to receive $5,000 towards new garage doors, openers, or front entry doors of their choice. Deadline to enter is the end of the month to win the $5,000 sweepstakes with Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. Enter now at overheaddoorstlouis.com. You can't win if you don't enter at overheaddoorstlouis.com. Are you looking for an easy way to get a daily detox? Active Liver is the easy way to get a daily detox. To keep you healthy and feeling your best, you can find Active Liver in the vitamin aisle at your local CVS or online at Amazon or NewNordicUSA.com.
This is attorney Todd Nissenholtz of Kaufman Townsley. Injured by a careless driver? We work with the top doctors in St. Louis. We'll help you get the expert medical care you need and the maximum amount of money you deserve. Call 314-500-5000.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
Right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
You brought snacks today? Is your mic on?
I thought it was. I pushed the button. This button has not been great lately.
It's a little sticky because of all the jelly that you have.
The snacks. Jelly?
Isn't that what you have? No. I don't think you're ready for this jelly. Okay, so you have bags that looks like cheese. Oh no. For the first time, I'm seeing all the ingredients together of this dare that you've put together.
It's not a dare.
It's something you eat, but it's a dare to me because I've never eaten it. Jelly. That's good jelly, by the
Smuckers.
way. Smucker stuff. Salami and cheese singles and bread. It looks gross. It doesn't sound good. It doesn't look good. But
Are you willing to
I'll do it.
But I mean, are you willing to eat this and be like, okay, that's good?
Yeah. I'm not going to come in with a bias.
It sounds like you are.
but it can be broken.
I'm coming in with trepidation.
Bunny bread, good stuff,
No, you
whole
got the
grain
good
white.
stuff.
Smuckers. I wanted to make sure you weren't like, it'd be better with Smuckers jelly, which is some
Well,
stupid
you didn't
thing
get
you'd
Dave's
say.
killer bread.
Ooh, great value, deluxe slices.
Dave's
we might have
bread.
skimped a little bit there. And prime fresh delicatessen by Smithfield, hard salami.
Wow, I just say deli. They use the whole word.
So I'm gonna make that for you in the next break, and you
Okay.
guys will try it.
Okay.
I also have peanut butter chews,
That's what I've been waiting for.
which you're gonna have to do the salami sandwich first.
Oh,
This is like a 1992 lunch. Here's
Yeah.
the peanut butter chews. Oh my gosh!
man,
it's
Did you guys have peanut butter squares in your lunches?
What was that?
They were peanut. It was like a shallow pan full of dense peanut butter, probably with a lot of sugar in it, and then a little layer of chocolate over the top. It was a dessert, and they just cut them into squares and give them to you for your dessert at school.
I have a feeling that the peanut butter chew is going to taste like something you've had before. You just don't call it that.
That's what I'm excited about because I
There's
love
there's
peanut
no
butter
chocolate.
squares.
There could be, but that would seem like a lot to me. So we're gonna try some new things here, and we're gonna try it on the break. And I'll make the sandwiches. I'm gonna go wash my hands, and I'm gonna make the sandwiches for you guys on the break, and then you'll try it there. I'm not huge on like taste testing things live on the air. It's gross.
Okay,
Especially peanut butter.
I'll do whatever. I don't care that we're on the radio. I want to eat some of that stuff.
I know.
Not the salami and jelly.
I
That's
know
not
that you don't care.
I just wanted to eat the peanut butter things.
Brad, do you think it's gonna taste good? Have you had it?
I have never had it. I actually hadn't even heard of it until you said something.
I think it's like a German thing or something.
I mean, my family's pretty German.
Mine too.
Apparently not.
Well, it might be a different part of Germany. I don't know.
The South.
Well,
Bobo says.
laugh.
Grape-
South Germany.
I don't know.
Well, there's like Bavaria and all these other places. And
Grape jelly on a bacon, egg, and cheese biscuit. That sounds good.
Yeah, that sounds okay.
It's not much different.
I don't know the salami thing, and it's just gel and the cheese. I don't know.
He said,
Yeah. That's the German coming out in me.
Clearly, we're really good at.
But
culture.
I was gonna say the thing about it is though is
European
like I look at it and I think about it in the same way I think of sushi. Like I wouldn't have thought that sushi would be good, and then you try it and it's like, oh, this is good.
Oh, I don't.
So
sushi is good.
Is it true that you can get a worm from eating sushi?
I think you can probably get a worm from anything if you try hard enough. You got to put your mind to it.
No, I don't think that is what. It's true though.
I have heard that you can.
Yeah.
I didn't know if that was like a myth or a old wives' tale.
I mean, there's some rules and like it has to be flash frozen to a very low temperature in the United States so that it would kill any parasites. But if you went and just got fish out of the sea, cut it and ate it, like some people do, yeah, you're absolutely opening yourself up to parasites.
Gross. I am not. That's not happening.
I think it's true of really any perishable food.
Any
though. I don't think
undercooked food.
I don't think it's just sushi.
Isn't it the seafood nature of it that causes it?
It's the freshness of it. It's the fact that it's not cooked fish. You do have to do something to it to keep it fresh, but then kill anything that's in it too.
Oh, yuck. You ever eat sushi from a gas station?
Yep.
Nope.
Yep.
I think parasites get Ryans.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
He infects them.
No easy way to do it. Dick Durbin is retiring from the Senate. Let's transition
The
here.
decision of whether to run for re-election has not been easy. I truly love the job of being United States Senator, but in my heart, I know it's time to pass the torch. So I'm announcing today that I will not be seeking re-election at the end of my term. The people of Illinois have honored me with this responsibility longer than anyone elected to the Senate in our state's history. I'm truly grateful. Right now, the challenges facing our country are historic and unprecedented. The threats to our democracy and way of life are very real. And I can assure you, I'll do everything in my power to fight for Illinois and the future of our country every day of my remaining time in the Senate. I've given over half of my life to House and Senate congressional service. I've always tried to stand up to power on behalf of the people of Illinois and our country. But none of it would have been possible without my wife, Loretta, our kids, Christine, Paul, and Jennifer, and my energetic and amazing grandchildren, as well as my extended family. They stood with me and accepted the demands of my public career. I've been blessed to have them, as well as the best Senate staff anyone could ask for. My Senate colleague, Tammy Duckworth, is a trusted friend and an effective leader. She'll be a real asset to Illinois and the nation as our state's senior senator. We're also fortunate to have a strong Democratic bench ready to serve. We need them now more than ever. To the Illinoisans who gave this kid from East St. Louis a chance to serve, thank you for supporting me through the words and actions over the years. Now that I have this announcement behind me, I need to get back to work.
Illinois Senator Dick Durbin retiring from the Senate, not going to run for re-election, which would be this next term. And he says they have a strong Democratic bench. I have been hearing for maybe 6 months the questions surrounding whether or not he was going to run for re-election, but also the question that he could possibly run for governor. We haven't heard from J.B. Pritzker if he's running again. Last cycle, J.B. Pritzker put, I think it was like $30 or $50 million of his own money in his reelection fund, and he hadn't announced that he was running again. Just kind of seems like an announcement in and of itself. We do not have term limits for the governor in the state of Illinois. And I would love for J.B. Pritzker to pack his bags and go somewhere else. I would love for J.B. Pritzker to no longer be the governor of the state of Illinois. And I would also be greatly humored at J.B. Pritzker seeking a third term while the Democratic Party was crying about Donald Trump, playfully suggesting that a lot of people want him to run for a third term. I don't know. Dick Durbin, is he done? Is he retiring? Is he going to go back to East St. Louis where he was a kid from and live his retirement out there? Or is he have his sights set on maybe what I would consider to be a slightly bigger role as governor of the state, where he might end up being a shoo-in if he were to?
I think that there are a couple names that come to mind that should run on the Republican side for this seat. One of them, Laura Trump.
In Illinois?
Wasn't she going to run somewhere? And if she didn't run there.
She lived in South Carolina.
She needs to move to Illinois.
Well,
and then run as the Republican.
I don't like that.
I think the name alone.
The last thing a person with the last name Trump needs to do is move to Illinois and open themselves up to whatever might come out of that.
Oh, Trump got +9 in the state of Illinois last time. I don't know about that.
I'm talking about prosecutions and stuff like that. I think that they would go after that person immediately once they were in their district.
Did they do other crimes that they committed?
No, but when has that ever stopped them?
I'm just thankful that
Trump, we need a Trump to relocate here. I'd like to see an Illinoisan run for that seat.
The funny thing about if Pritzker were to run again for a third term is not just the whole third term thing. It's also the oligarchy claim that it's going around out there, and this billionaire who just funds his own campaigns and all this NGO money and all this stuff. It's really beyond parody.
Dick Durbin would be a better governor than J.B. Pritzker.
I hope so.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I hope that happens if that's true.
I would vote for the Republican, but I think J.B. Pritzker is about as disgusting to me as a governor as one can get. Just his, the way that he prioritizes his representation of Illinoisans, if we can still say that. It doesn't represent the people of Illinois. There's the amount of lording that he has done in his time as governor, the way he handled COVID when the rest of the nation was acting normal and he was clinging to his oligarchy, his ability to control so much of your life. The biggest tax burden in the union, in the state of Illinois. the out-migration that is taking place in the state of Illinois. The people who are leaving Illinois are the job creators, the makers of things, the people who create jobs in the state. It's wild to watch what J.B. Pritzker has done to this state and know that there are a lot of people in Illinois who look at him and think he has just been a fantastic governor. It's like, we are not the same. We do not prioritize the same things. Illinois is a destination state for abortion. Illinois is a destination state for illegal immigrants. Illinois is a destination state for everything that is politically advantageous for Governor J.B. Pritzker, for the supermajority of Democrats in the House, for the supermajority of Democrats in the Senate. I think that I have been pretty consistent on my staunchly pro-life stance, right? I have been read out on this. People know I believe that life begins at conception. I wish that we would take all of the money that we're funneling into abortion and funnel that same amount of money into adoption. I think that women get themselves into situations by choice many times that result in pregnancies that they don't want to have to raise for the next 18 years. And I think those lives deserve an opportunity, and maybe it's not with the mother. I don't think that life should be ended because of an unfortunate conclusion to a decision made by both biological male and female. I mean, these are just basic things, but you're not going to be a Republican who wins the governorship on making that your number one issue. That is a principle that I have, that I would hope that our next governor would have, to protect and preserve life, but also to invest in alternatives to abortion in the state of Illinois, to provide these women with the support they need when the men who got them in those positions, they're not standing by their side and helping support them in that situation. We in the state of Illinois are the least pro-women in the way that we let men off the hook. And that's J.B. Pritzker's ironic baby in the state of Illinois. We don't, in the state of Illinois, abide by the idea of bottom up. We don't abide by the idea of, incentivizing small businesses to come here. We punitively tax the crap out of people until they make a smart move and move, miles east or west or north or south for a more optimal business culture and atmosphere. Illinois really should be the epicenter of business in the Midwest of the United States of America. And J.B. Pritzker has crapped all over that, made an absolute mess of it, and sent people packing to other states that are trying to take the place of what we rightfully should be. And the governor doesn't care about it. He doesn't understand it. He hasn't suffered economically a day in his life. How could he possibly know?
It's funny you say that, because I was just thinking about the fact that Durbin said he was from East St. Louis. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
It's just a bigger conversation here. I don't want to take too long on it, but it makes me very sad, and I genuinely mean this. It happens in Illinois. It happens in a lot of places too, but it very much happens here. With a place like East St. Louis, there are so many poor communities that politicians for a long time have just pandered to. And yes, mostly Democrat, because that's the way those communities tend to vote. But nobody's really doing anything for the poor. And it just drives me crazy because they act like they are.
Because what they're doing is securing their lot in life. They're saying, we'll take care of you just enough so you can stay here. And if you vote for the other guys, they're not going to take care of you like this. They're not going to provide you with the most basic things that you need.
Yeah, let me give you just enough to keep you where you're at and voting for me. And that's all that matters. They really, that is so heartless, and it is rampant. People in power do that constantly to the poor.
If you wanted to reinvigorate the east side of the river, right where you look west and see the shadow of the arch, bring jobs, bring businesses, bring people, bring workers, bring entrepreneurs, and give them in my opinion, the most beautiful view that exists of St. Louis, which is from the east bank of the Mississippi River, and give them an opportunity to cause that place to flourish, bring investment into that area, bring jobs into that area, bring security into that area, and invest. That's what would be good for these communities. The opportunity is sitting right there. And you know what? Folks that are on the west side of the Mississippi in St. Louis, in this, they got it, Kara Spencer, they got a new mayor over here now. Maybe she'll do things different. I'm not holding my breath at all. But what would be great for downtown St. Louis? Competition on the east side. They'd have to do something. I wish so much that the state of Illinois would look outward for investment in an area like this, and where we are in Southwest Illinois. I don't want to see Chicago clipped off and given away. I want Chicago to, a pipe dream maybe, but people don't realize how close Illinois was in this last election to making a sea change. We're right there on the cusp. It's possible right now with the right people. Is Dick Durbin going to run for governor? I have no idea. Maybe he wants to be done forever. Is J.B. Pritzker going to run for Senate? I don't think he wants to be one of 100. I think he wants to be one of one. I think that's how he sees himself. It'll be interesting to see how Illinois takes this moment, this opportunity, and tries to do something with it. It'll be very interesting to watch. We'll be covering it for sure on the Annie Fry Show. All right, we're going to take a quick break. I'm going to make some sandwiches.
I will eat them.
There you go. Good idea.
And then we will come back on the air and we will talk through those sandwiches.
No. I'm going to go wash my hands, get a knife. I'll be right back. Don't go away.
School's out, the night's rolling, man. Just like a long lost friend, you ain't seen in a while.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
Can't help but smile. And it's too bad feet on
The Annie Fry Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
Bottle on the floorboard, perfect song on the radio. Sing along, cause it's one we know. It's a smile, it's a kiss, it's a sip of wine, it's summertime.
Ready for instant curb appeal that comes with a 25-year transferable warranty? Call Rhino Shield today. We do brick, block, stucco, asbestos, aluminum, steel, cedar, and more. Over the past 20 years, we've done thousands of homes, businesses, churches, schools, condos, parking garages, large metal buildings, and strip malls, from Champaign to the Lake of the Ozarks. We do flat and sloped metal roofs to extend their lives too. Proud to be veteran-owned and manufactured in the good old USA, so we're tariff-free. We're exceeding expectations every day. Evaluations are free. A+ rated with the BBB and a lot of 5-star Google reviews. Call 877-25-RHINO, 877-25-RHINO, or 877-25rhino.com. See what we did there? Genius. Tell them, ladies.
Don't hate, don't Rhino, go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
You know how you always want to know about everyone else's money? On the podcast, What We Spend, guests will, for 1 week, tell us everything they spend their money on.
My son slammed $6 worth of blueberries in 5 minutes.
And everything that makes them feel.
I want to own a house. I want to have a child. But this morning, I really wanted a coffee.
Because at the end of the day, money is always about more than your balance. Listen to and follow What We Spend, an Odyssey original podcast. Available now wherever you get your podcasts.
This could be the #1 tax saving strategy for your retirement savings, and it's hidden inside IRS tax code section 1.408A-4. Discover what it is and how you can make your money go further in retirement in a 3-hour adult education class called Retirement Planning 101. Hey, it's Sue Thomas, and this is a one-night class. It's taught by advisors from financial and tax architects. They have decades of financial planning experience, and they hold these at colleges and libraries throughout St. Louis, and you'll learn about reducing your taxes, maximizing Social Security, paying for health care, and more. And they do it for free, but bring 3 canned goods for St. Louis Crisis Nursery. There are a few openings left for classes this month, so register now by calling 314-947-2012, 314-947-2012, 314-947-2012. That's 314-947-2012.
Baseball is back, and this season there are more ways than ever to watch your Cardinals on FanDuel Sports Network. As always, you can watch FanDuel Sports Network through TV providers including DirecTV, Spectrum, Xfinity, Fubo, and more. New for 2025, you can subscribe directly to FanDuel Sports Network and stream the Cardinals without blackouts. And for a limited time, you can get started with a 30-day free trial using code CARDS30DAY when you sign up at FanDuelSportsNetwork.com. Visit Cardinals.com/TV to learn more.
RulerFoods.com. Make sure you check out Ruler Foods online, because any of the sales that I talk about, the extra savings that you can enjoy at Ruler Foods, those are always going to be listed on the website at RulerFoods.com. But you can also check out all of the locations of Ruler Foods around here. You might not even realize it, but you likely have a Ruler Foods close to you. They're in Missouri. They're in Illinois. We have visited as a show both Collinsville and the St. Charles Ruler Foods for our diaper drives. So they're all over the place. Of course, that's Missouri and Illinois, but they're a lot more than that. And they're easy to find. They're super easy to shop. I appreciate how clean they are, how well laid out they are. They make sense. You can save on produce. You can save on they have dairy products, of course, frozen foods, meat department, everything that you need from a grocery store. They have it at Ruler Foods. You can have all the savings delivered directly to you at your door by going online to rulerfoods.com. Find your Ruler Foods. Visit rulerfoods.com. You're listening to the Annie Fry Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Air Comfort Service is donating a bag of food to Open Door Animal Sanctuary for every AC clean and check performed in April. To schedule your AC check, visit aircomfortservice.com.
This is the Annie Fry Show. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. A little bit of development in the Annie Goes to Washington saga. I have flights booked and a room booked, and I'm leaving Sunday night, and I will be back Wednesday morning with the intention to do the show Wednesday. So I'm supposed to land at like 10:30.
Sunday night.
Wednesday when I get back.
Here. Okay.
Yes. When I get back Wednesday, and I'm going to see if Trisha will come get me or something. But my intention is to be back Wednesday to do the show live with you guys. But Monday and Tuesday, Brad, you said you've been talking with them, and we are good to go on Monday and Tuesday.
Good to go Monday and Tuesday.
Can you tell us a little bit about what they've said?
Yeah,
can be happening. This is pretty exciting.
You are going to have a ton of access. So what they told me is they will definitely get you into the press briefing room and into a situation where you can ask a question
at the press briefing.
Yes, and not only that, they're going to try to get you into the new media chair. Now they don't know. That's
the Tim Pool chair from yesterday,
That's
where he's like,
chair.
"So about all the media in here that sucks."
Wear a beanie and dress up like Tim Pool.
Hi, I'm Kim Pool.
Oh, you'd go so viral for that. They also said
I'd lose my job.
Pim Tool.
They also said that you would be able to travel around with the press pool. One of the things they mentioned is sometimes the press pool is the one that travels around the Oval Office.
So at the White House, you just kind of herd around where they tell you to go, I guess.
And there's an outside chance that if the president decides that he's doing something and he wants to open it to the press, you would get pulled in with the rest of the press pool for that. So you could be in the Oval Office. Now,
what will be more exciting, to see Trump in action or Will Sharf in action?
Man, I don't want to disrespect.
I'm going to be like, I know.
I don't want to disrespect Will, but you are talking about the president of the United States.
But it's Will Sharf. He's
he's
one
cool.
of the funniest meme cycles to come out of the Donald Trump presidency is the things that I don't know how AI does it, but they get Will Sharf's voice to narrate the most wild executive orders. And then they just leave Trump going, "Oh yeah, that's a good one. That's really an important one." And they're just like the most random weird things. Anyway, sorry, go ahead.
Also, he said that they said that you could go down. They called it Pebble Beach. It's the driveway with all the green tents where all the press people hang out.
Pebble Beach sounds a little inflammatory. Like it's a little extra, I think. It's a parking lot, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen those green tents over there just from like the fences where you can go like, okay, here's the White House. But Pebble Beach.
Have you ever been to Pebble Beach, the real Pebble Beach?
Maybe.
You think you have?
Have I?
And
It's
you
a
don't
golf
remember?
course, isn't it?
I don't know. I've been to, is it Florida?
No, it's in California.
No. Well, I don't know. I've been to California twice, but I don't know.
But anyway, down there are different people from the administration doing interviews and stuff like that, and you'd be able to possibly get interviews with them. You'll be rubbing elbows with the likes of Peter Ducey and Caitlin Collins.
I don't know if I'll be rubbing elbows with Peter Ducey.
Well, just try to rub
Yeah,
elbows.
yeah.
Like,
Make it weird.
Peter, I need your elbow.
Peter.
They told me I had to do this.
I don't understand it, but they just said I should.
Yeah, so it's basically access that the press gets. I thought it was really interesting. They talked about like how you would get in. You would have to go to the press entrance, you check in with the Secret Service, and then they're like, you're on the list, come on in. Or maybe you need an escort, somebody comes down and gets you and lets you in.
We're missing the big day here though, because this is what blew me away when we found out. Okay, you get the press pass, super cool. It's gonna be great.
Yeah,
you're gonna be there on Tuesday,
which is
the 100th day. They're doing this big thing for the 100 days. They invited you to be there that in the press room that day. That's cool.
You're making me nervous.
What's great
Better
about
not mess up.
What's awesome about it is that week going into the next week came at their recommendation. They're like, hey,
you should be here.
You should be here for this week.
That's so cool.
So
can I give you a list of questions that Gary Vood might ask?
Yes.
That you don't have to ask them, but you can. Because if you get nervous and you just get frozen, I want you to have a list.
The second you hear me go, what a scoop, you'll know I've panicked. I have lost control of my...
Can you at least wear one of those old-fashioned press fedoras?
Now, for those of you listening, we are going to carry these press conferences that Annie is in on the station.
We're going to do a whole week of Trump's 100th day coverage.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, we are. You are a huge part of that. I would say that you might be the reason we're doing that. But you're going to call into Mark's show in the morning, Mark's show in the afternoon. And then, of course, we're going to take as much advantage of that as we possibly can with the Manny Fry show taking over for a couple days.
I don't know 100%. In my mind, I'm preparing to like get there super early and be there super late. And I mean, honestly, if I go there and I end up sitting at a cubicle the whole time, that's kind of what I'm mentally preparing for. And to just be happy to be sitting in the White House in a cubicle, I think that would be totally cool. But they continue to express that there's going to be I'm going to be able to be in the mix of the press pool the whole time. And I can't wait to observe how it goes. And then, you go see that side of things. And then you come back here and like stuff will be happening. I'll be like, I know I understand this in a way that I didn't understand it before. I'm just so excited.
I can't wait for that. But then I can't stand the idea of for every day afterwards, you look it up on the TV and be like, oh, I was there.
So
gosh, that's going to happen.
You know how I am.
Yeah. Like, oh, there's Carrie or something, like when Carolyn Levitt comes out.
Oh, we go back.
Yeah.
She's a dear friend.
There's Pete Ducey.
Peter.
Funny guy.
So I really want, if y'all have thoughts, like what would you ask? In the phone call that we were on yesterday, they were like, oh yeah, she'll get to ask a question.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then they're like, we'll put her in the special seat. And I was like, I'm thinking to myself, easy guys. But it's like, no, I want every opportunity. This is exactly how I felt going into the Super Hornet.
This is a
with
bigger
the Blue
deal
Angels.
than that.
Is it?
Yes. This is that's an amazing experience. But this is
7.5 G's for 10 seconds. It's gonna feel like 7.5 G's.
Reference
for like
that
day.
In your question.
Yeah, as a pilot, as a Blue Angel, Katy Perry and I have this in common.
Oh no!
Reference that. You have to.
Oh man, seriously, post on X at Annie Fry Show, or get on the YouTube and comment. Will you guys? I'll participate this in a while. It's just harder when I'm hosting. If people send questions on the YouTube live chat that they'd like me to ask, will you guys set them aside?
Yes,
sure.
Oh, and by the way,
I mean that in a serious way, like because my my responsibility of going into the press room, the reason I get to do that is because of you as a listener and the platform that we have here. It's not because of me. It's because of you and the fact that you're here. So what you would want to, like, what question would you want the Trump administration to have to answer? That's why I get to go. It's to represent you. And so I would want to know very much so. What would you like to have asked?
Do you know what Monday is going to look like? Are you going to be in the room Monday, or what's going on that day?
She will have access. She will have access both Monday and Tuesday.
So you're going to be around it constantly. Like you're not.
I think I have full access through Monday and through Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
Gosh, that's incredible. I talked to our boss about this ahead of time because we're going to be, man on the ship here while you're there. And Brad, you may have talked to Steve about this too, but he has given us full permission to, and you'll have to let us know when this is happening. When you're in there, we want to cut to it live on the station, no matter what's happening. So it could be in the middle of anybody's show that we're just going to cut to you in the press room. And we figure that would be either during Kill Meet or during your show here, but we don't know. And you don't know either, right? You don't know what time it'll be or anything yet.
This is a similar, again, to my experience of being invited to fly with the Blue Angels last year. The scariest part about all of it was what I didn't know. Because you guys all in here understand that I'm a preparer. I'm somebody who I just prepare for all scenarios. And this is so beyond what I've had the ability to do. I don't know. So you guys, I mean, certainly be sure you're going to want to follow the Annie Fry Show socials wherever you are on social media. Connect with the Annie Fry Show there, specifically the Annie Fry YouTube channel, the 97.1 Facebook page, the Annie Fry Show Facebook page, certainly. But I'm going to try to document as much as I possibly can. I don't even know what I'm allowed to do. I'm sure that there is some decorum that I will have to follow. Is like, we don't do videos in here. Oh, sorry. I'll try to. You said you want me to wear a body cam.
Yeah, I do.
That's not happening.
Like for 2 straight days.
For 2 straight days. Okay.
Just walking around wherever, because we want full foot, because we never know what's going to happen.
I literally don't know what's going to happen.
Can you just do me one favor? Can you make the question, am I right?
No.
And then right before it, say anything you want.
No.
Like 51st State. Am I right? And that's your question.
2:00 pep rally at Collinsville High School on Sunday. And I fly out. I'm going to leave the pep rally and go to the airport to go to DC. Be there until flying home early Wednesday morning to come do the show at noon. I might be in silly zone at noon on Wednesday.
Yeah, Wednesday might be the day to tune in.
I advocate for police escorts to and from the airport.
Okay, sure.
I advocate for that as well.
If you know anybody that can facilitate that.
Yeah, that's a totally good use of taxpayer dollars.
Well,
Annie goes to the White House
been using it
and
for
sits in the background for 2 days, and she gets a police escort to and from. That is the dumbest, not happening thing.
And the cars have to play "Hail to the Chief," but like a different version.
Put the little
just so
flags on the front.
I love that where the police escort would be coming from, the event that would ultimately save a bunch of taxpayer dollars.
Well, if you look at it that way.
Does every press person get an entrance song?
I don't think so, but I will report back. This is the type of we should do one call-in interview, probably in the 2:00 hour when I'm gone, assuming that I am available, because that's another thing. You guys are going to be hosting the show, and I'm going to be like, I'm free. Let me call.
We got to figure out how to get that feed constantly, because if Fox News
have
isn't
it, we
on
know.
it,
yeah.
Oh, we have it.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Fantastic.
You guys should write down all the questions that we'll do one interview. You guys can reach out to me, and we'll do one interview that has nothing to do with like politics. It's just like things you want to know.
I want to know. I want to do just that.
Well, I'm giving you the opportunity to do it, but all in one segment. We'll see how it goes.
We'll see. And maybe we could do a long.
Are you so excited to eat your sandwich that I made for you?
Not really.
Oh.
But I like jelly and I like bread and I like cheese and salami.
Info dude asks, will Annie be in touch with Will Scharf between now and then? Already am, and I plan on getting in contact with him. We're probably gonna have dinner or something like that, because he is a huge part in making this possible. So I told him, I said, I want to see you while you're there if you can, and so we're gonna connect one way or the other. All right, let's take a quick break. Sandwiches on the break. We've got bunny bread, American cheese slices, hard salami, and grape jelly. Tune into the Annie Fry YouTube channel and let us know if you've had this before, if you would try it. And you can see on the break here if they enjoy these sandwiches that I think are delicious and remind me of my childhood. We'll be right back.
My own place, and I'm getting weary. How far is heaven? And I know that I need to change my ways of living. How far is heaven? Lord, can you tell me? I've been locked up way too long in this crazy world. How far is heaven? And I just keep on.
Point Pest Control. There's some sandwich eating going on right here in the studio right now. Point Pest Control can help guide you in the pest department, and it also includes mosquitoes. Mosquito season is coming upon us. You want to make sure that you don't have to suffer when you're outside at your home and you're annoyed by the mosquitoes. If they take away the opportunity for you to enjoy the outside, then what in the heck are we even doing? Reach out to Point Pest Control and let them help you with this problem so that you can enjoy these spaces. When it's gathering time, people get outside, and that means mosquitoes can move you inside. Point Pest Control can come and spray before your outdoor gathering so you don't have to move inside. You can enjoy those birthday parties, barbecues, celebrations as you plan to. Tiny mosquitoes will not be there for your event. Schedule the treatment today. Call Point Pest Control at 636-798-0023. 636-798-0023. Point Pest Control will help you with this problem, any other bug problem you have. I'm a quarterly subscriber to theirs. They come out 4 times a year. Happy to be a paying customer and make sure that those bugs stay out of my home. Mention the Annie Fry Show. You're going to save an extra 10% on the top of whatever special they have going. Point with an E, pointpestcontrol.com.
You never got a sense of how big the community was until we all pour into this auditorium. 4,000 or 5,000 people, and we're all here for the same reason. Real estate investing, living the lifestyle.
That's April on her Expo experience. It's coming again. Join Del Walmsley and Lifestyles Unlimited for Expo 2025, May 7th through the 10th in Irving, Texas. Get hands-on training from successful real estate investors and learn proven strategies that work. Find out more and save $100 when you text Expo to 88007, EXPO to 88007.
If you owe the IRS, you have a legal issue, and you need the Lance Drury Law Firm. We'll protect your rights. Log on at lancedrurylaw.com or call us toll-free at 888-367-6512.
All right. The YouTube live chat poll is it okay to call a non-family member sweetheart? Yes or no? And then we're also going to discuss, and you can vote in the non-existent poll, about whether you would eat a salami, cheese, and jelly sandwich, which we are currently doing. And there are some of us in the room who like it, I think, more than others.
Would.
Hashtag would. 246. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
Good afternoon, Mark Reardon on a Wednesday, getting set to go here. A lot of stuff still from the Supreme Court case involving the Maryland parents who don't want their kids to be indoctrinated. So we have good audio from Justice Gorsuch that I did not share yesterday. You don't want to miss that. Plus, Brian Kilmeade in his weekly visit at 3:25. We get going here after Fox News at 3.
I do my hair toss, check my nails. Baby, how you feeling? Hair toss, check my nails.
This is the Annie Fry Show. Follow Annie on X at Annie Fry Show.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. We've had our salami, cheese, and jelly sandwiches. Ryan.
You're just like very intimately staring at it.
Intimate, come on. Why that word?
Ryan, that's not what that's for.
That is inappropriate. All of you should be ashamed of yourselves. I hate jokes that are sexual in nature.
Who said that?
Yeah.
What are you talking about, Ryan? Oh my gosh.
I think we all know what you're implying.
That you need to button it up here.
There's a lot of other forms of intimacy.
I'm glad that Ethan talked over that joke that will never be cut now. Anyway.
Scale of 0 to 10, or give it out of 5 stars. What do
out
you
of
got?
5 stars. 2.5.
Okay.
It's right down the middle.
Not repulsive.
I would never make one for myself. It's not awful. There's something strange about the cheese in there. Meat, bread, jelly. I think I could get behind that. There's a salty, sweet thing happening there. But the cheese just doesn't, there's something about that doesn't work. So the other thing that is interesting to me that
It might not actually be cheese.
I was picturing, I was picturing this being more like a peanut butter and jelly sandwich where the peanut butter was replaced with meat and cheese. Because I put a lot of jelly.
There's jelly? Is that how you approach every sandwich that has?
Well, I put a lot
like
of jelly on my peanut butter and jelly sandwiches.
Yeah, we
so
know.
there's a lot of ingredient in between
Mhm.
the bread. So you did it more like the jelly was a garnish or something like a.
Yeah, it's not the main part of the
it's
sandwich.
not. It's not a condiment. That's the way to
Garnish.
put it.
Because that's what
She made
it
a little
is.
flour out of it on the side.
Garnish is the wrong word, isn't it? Yeah. So in that sense, I think it does work, and I can't decide whether it would be better with a lot more jelly because I can see what you're going for
I
here.
presume that you would think everything would be better with more jelly
You know what would be better is if you did more jelly,
and less meat and cheese with
less
peanut
meat
butter.
and cheese,
Yeah,
and peanut
okay,
butter.
I got you.
You knew where I was going.
Ethan, you ate the whole thing.
Yeah, mostly because I was hungry.
That's it?
I'll give it also a 2.5.
Uh-huh.
My main thing is, to me, it tasted just like a sweet salami and cheese sandwich. I mean, it
Was
just
that
added,
okay though?
It was okay, but probably wouldn't do it again. Honestly, the worst part of it all is that a little piece of cheese dropped on my shirt, and normally I wouldn't have to worry about a little piece of cheese falling out of the
But it had
sandwich.
jelly on it?
Had jelly on the other side, and now this jacket that I've never worn before has jelly on it.
And that's the sandwich's fault?
Yeah.
2.5%, 2.5 out of 5.
Was it a 3-star
So it's
until
50%
the 3-star until the cheese
sandwich's
fell
fault.
out and knocked it down half?
Maybe.
Mhm.
Yeah. Sure. I'll give it that.
Okay,
If-
Brad.
I'm
Oh
gonna
no,
go-
you just be quiet.
It fell on
You've,
his
you've
shirt,
said enough.
and I went ew, and they flicked it.
Very intimately.
Ew. You guys can go have your own moment with your own salami later. I don't want to be a part of it.
No, I don't want to have a moment with the salami at work.
You just did. In their little ones.
Oh man.
See, they're little.
What?
Salami.
That was derogatory.
I'm literally holding the little salami.
Now you're showing it to the camera for clicks.
Oh my gosh.
Brad?
What is this, OnlyFans?
Unbelievable.
To
This is
follow that up
unbelievable.
and give it the 4-star that I was going to give it. Oh,
cheese is being thrown.
Have you seen you remember the cheese thing?
Oh God.
Do you need another one? Brad, answer the question. You need to take charge.
4 stars.
Better,
oh my gosh.
better than expected.
That's
Better than expected. Yeah, it was good.
Good score.
I don't know that I would say that I would definitely go out of my way to make it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm lazy. I probably would just stopped at salami and cheese, but I thought it was
the
good.
jelly is what makes it weird and interesting, right?
Yeah, I generally don't like the sweet savory thing going on, but this worked. I don't understand why it worked, but this worked.
It works because it's sweet and savory.
You know what I have had that is similar to this is if you've ever had a burger that has jam,
Yes.
like a jam burger or whatever they call them, where they do something similar to this, where it's not quite jelly, but there's a sauce that tastes like jelly jam.
It looks like a chicken.
And they put it
nugget.
on the burger. It's similar to that. So that's not bad.
Peanut butter.
These things are huge.
Holy cow.
These things are like the size of a full baby's head.
Nobody is allergic to nuts, right?
Nobody that I know is allergic to nuts other than my son, but he doesn't count.
All right, now peanut butter.
Peanut butter.
Uh-huh.
Peanut butter chews are, you can take a bite while I'm talking, turn off your microphones. I'm not even wearing my headphones just in case. Peanut butter chews are cornflakes, sugar, corn syrup, and maybe butter. But I think it's like a peanut butter version with cornflakes of Rice Krispies. It's kind of the same idea, just different base ingredients.
That is divine.
Out of 5 stars?
4.8.
What's the matter with you? You can't be satisfied.
It's good.
That's
Do
a
you want some more-
96%.
Do you want some more cheese?
Hey. Oh, nice shot on the plate.
Nailed it.
I'm a professional cheese thrower.
I would say 4 out of 5. I like it a lot.
You like it a lot. You
Yeah.
need another one?
I would eat another
If
one.
I gave you another one, would you eat it?
Yeah, you know
bad I
what
can't
this
have
would be great is
Jelly?
just taking it, grabbing it with your full hand, and just sticking your whole arm in a chocolate fountain. No, not jelly. I don't want that. I'll eat that jelly, I guess.
I can stay
I mean,
here.
he's throwing it away.
I'm not
His
gonna throw it away.
willpower
I'm gonna
lasted
put it
for
in
about
I'm going to put it in my office.
Great
4 out
Joey.
of 5 stars.
4 out of 5. I like it.
You like this or Rice Krispie treats better?
Ooh.
It's hard probably to judge when you've only had just one.
Rice
year.
Krispie treat.
Me too.
What do you think, Brad?
4 out of 5 stars. But this is better than a Rice Krispie treat. There's a lot more flavor here than a Rice Krispie treat.
I got crap for giving a 4.8 out of 5, and these two hooligans give a 4 out of 5, and you don't give them any heat.
I don't have expectations for them.
What? That's so,
Yes, you
actually, you know what? Thank you.
I've officially peaked.
Yeah.
I thought you'd be the one to just be casually like, oh, 5 out of 5 stars. It's all good. And
I
then
basically was.
no, you weren't. You had to put your Ethan
Nobody
spin on it,
wants-
which I respect.
Nobody wants me to say 5 because if I say 5 stars out of 5, then we got to do the whole thing where I'm going woo woo. We're taking the train to Flavortown. And I lose my mind.
And then you start going wiggity, wiggity, wiggity again.
Yeah, I get all
Too much
hyped
sugar.
up, running a circle on the floor like Curly.
WIGGY.
This show sounds weird with my headphones off.
Show sounds weird with your headphones on, or if you're just in your car driving. Listen when we go to the White House. That's going to be great.
Gosh, they're gonna pull my press credentials.
They should. They should play something back from this segment
God have mercy.
to you in the room and be like, "This
Can you explain this? I'll be like, no, I can't. Thank you for rescuing me.
You may know Annie from holding the salami.
Yeah, making lots of derogatory comments.
I
about
wouldn't.
flaunting your salami. You sure you belong here, ma'am? I'm
She's
looking
a good
forward to
salami
that
thrower.
phrase.
A marksman, even with the salami.
Go ahead. It's your show.
It doesn't feel like it. It kind of doesn't
Still
feel
2
like
minutes.
it. I'm good.
No, more than 2 minutes.
What
How do
wanna
you feel holding that peanut butter chew and not being able to eat it right now?
It sucks.
Yeah, it sucks.
It's terrible.
Because you like it.
Yes.
5 stars?
4.8.
4.8.
It's a little bit sticky in my hand, though.
Yeah.
She tried to trick you into a 5.
She failed.
The YouTube live chat poll for today, stemming from the Martha McCallum Randy Weingarten conversation, where Randy Weingarten couldn't get Martha to be quiet, and Martha was trying to get Randy Weingarten to answer a question that she wasn't answering. Randy Weingarten said, "Martha, Martha, Martha, sweetheart, sweetheart," and Martha cut her off and said, "Don't call me sweetheart." Was that the right move for Martha in that moment, Brad?
I think so. Whenever Randy Weingarten said it, I was like, "Ooh, no!" But it didn't take very long. So I think that's right because, like I was saying earlier, it's infantilization.
Just think of the word.
Nice.
I don't know the
Belittling.
I don't know the
It's
word.
so babyish.
Well,
It's
yeah,
such a baby thing.
It
Yeah.
puts you in the position of a child and an adult talking to a child, and Martha is not that person. And I think she responded correctly because she was polite. She said, "Please don't call me sweetheart," but it was a firm, please don't call me sweetheart.
Ethan, you want to hit us with the results?
249 votes on today's YouTube live chat
Golly.
poll. Is it okay to call a non-family member sweetheart? It does not get any closer than this, folks. 49% say yes, and 51% say no.
Ooh,
Man,
that's a good poll.
51. Yeah, we'll leave it up for another 2 minutes if you want to come throw that. It could get closer. It could be 50-50. I'm surprised that it is this close, though.
What was your answer?
No, you can't call someone sweetheart. Do you think? Are you cool with it?
I voted yes. I think it's all in like the format.
intent.
It was very sarcastic and very passive aggressive in this case. I think that you can say it in a way that's friendly and kind and has good intentions behind it.
Wow. It's out there for y'all to vote on and let us know how you think in the comments. Also, make sure you reach out to us. When we're live, we're going to be watching for comments and questions about when I go to the White House Monday and Tuesday next week. Please consider subscribing to the YouTube channel. I know I've said that a lot, but we're going to be putting up a lot of content there. I hope that I am overwhelmed with content for you guys. I don't know. Like, if I get there and I can't talk to all the people that I want to talk to, I don't know that I can make demands when I'm there. But I really want to bring you guys with me into the White House and this experience. And so make sure that you are connected with us. A huge, huge thank you to Stewart's American Mortgage and also Grasser Electric, who are helping sponsor my trip out there. I couldn't have done it without them, and I'm really grateful for that. So stay tuned, connect to us on socials, and we'll be going to the White House next week. That 2 p.m. Sunday rally at Collinsville Football Stadium at the Collinsville High School. All schools are welcome, positive, nonpartisan. We'll see you there. Mark Reardon next.
Mark Cox here. If you're nearing retirement or already retired, call my friends Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group. They'll show you how to link to the market without the risk. They're the official financial advisors of my show. Go online to retirementkey.com.
If you need a new garage door, this could be your lucky day. Entries are now open for the $5,000 sweepstakes at Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. The winner will be chosen at random to receive $5,000 towards new garage doors, openers, or front entry doors of their choice. Deadline to enter is the end of the month to win the $5,000 sweepstakes with Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. Enter now at overheaddoorstlouis.com. You can't win if you don't enter at overheaddoorstlouis.com.
Noble Gold Investments alert. Gold has surged 46% in less than a year, doubling the gains of the Nasdaq and S&P 500. But this isn't just another rally. Investors are losing confidence in paper gold and demanding physical metal, creating a massive gap between gold owed and gold available. But this isn't about how institutions broke another system. It's about how you can profit from it. Right now, Noble Gold Investments has a limited supply of investment-grade gold bars and coins available. As banks scramble to fulfill their obligations, pushing gold prices higher, you can profit. Smart investors are already moving into physical gold. Noble Gold Investments makes it easy for you to do the same. And right now, when you make a qualified investment, Noble Gold will add a free 10th ounce gold coin to your order. Don't wait until it's too late. Visit noblegoldinvestments.com now and turn their panic into your profit. noblegoldinvestments.com.
Past performance may not be indicative of future results. Investing in precious metals, including gold, involves risks. Consult with your tax attorney or financial professional before making an investment decision.
It's Tom Ackerman for Ophthalmology Associates, the doctor's doctors, 314-966-5000 or online at youridoc.com.
KFTK FM Florissant from the Kaufman Townsley St. Louis.